barbecue sauce. I love that it was a little sweet, a little tangy, and with the mac and cheese,
I feel like I tasted the brown sugar bacon first. It was the absolute best combination. Pro tip, 3 sandwiches are always better than 1.
Order the Smokehouse Barbecue Bacon Sandwich and a Coca-Cola on the Chick-fil-A app for a limited time. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
It's been said that when someone you love has Parkinson's, you have Parkinson's. If you have questions, the Parkinson's Foundation has answers. Learn more at parkinson.org or call 1-800-473-4636.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. 800-371-0505. 800-371-0505.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, Injury Lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
Get in the hole!
That's ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Nice out there this afternoon. A little breezy, winds gusting up to 20-25 miles per hour, but lots of sunshine and warm with highs in the low 80s. Overnight tonight, we'll see a low of 60 under clear skies and bright skies for the holiday weekend, but it turns hotter. Highs will be in the upper 80s Saturday and Easter Sunday.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb and Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 3 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones this afternoon down 527 points to 39,142.
Chance and they'll score. A quick answer right back. Yes, Barry. Kotkaniemi. Carrying low drive. Rebound out in front. The score! It's Skylar Brindamore's first NHL goal. Svechnikov, side of the net. Back to Svechnikov. He scores! A power play goal. It'll be a break here. Roslovic with a chance. He shoots. He scores! And now give away. Carolina has it. Joe to the slot. He scores! From Taylor Hall. What a setup.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Happy Friday, everybody. Happy NHL postseason, everybody. Happy a week from today. We'll be reacting to the draft, everybody. Happy the transfer portal continues to turn in both football and basketball, everybody. Just happy day, everybody. What's going on? I'm Tim Donnelly, Dennis Cox producing the show. I have one question for the Carolina Hurricanes. And it's the same question if you ever have to speak to, like, if you're called into the assembly of a middle school, what do? You step to the microphone, you say, "Are you ready?" "Yeah." "I can't hear you. Are you ready?" That's what it is. Are the Carolina Hurricanes ready for the postseason? Are they ready for the playoffs? It's what this entire season has been about. The last few days, why did you sit your guys? To get ready for the postseason. This entire season, what has been the question? Will you be ready for the postseason? How do you judge the Carolina Hurricanes' success or failure in any given season starting about 3 years ago? By how well they do in the postseason, in the playoffs. They finished with 99 points. They finished 1 point shy of their 4th consecutive 100-plus point season. 1 point shy. And guess what I have to say to that? Who cares? It's not about the regular season anymore. It once was a big deal to win a certain amount of games or get a certain amount of points or to be at a certain position in the standings at the end of the regular season. It's not anymore. It's about how far do you make it in the postseason. Did last night wake up some secondary scoring? Dennis, we did a pre-playoff Hurricanes and Cons. What are you most concerned about? What are you most confident about for the Canes? Your concern was secondary scoring. Did last night change any of that?
It didn't change it entirely, but I liked what I saw last night. I was like, oh, Andrei Svechnikov scoring a goal where he looked like Andrei Svechnikov on a one-time. I was like,
confident.
Yes, he's like, I want that puck. I want to let this thing fly. It was also nice to see Kotkaniemi actually score a goal and Jack Roslovic score a goal. So yes, it was helpful, but can you do it on a consistent basis? And keep in mind, Ottawa yesterday dressed their playoff lineup.
Mm-hmm.
This was kind of like, hey, this is our last go-around before we actually start playing Toronto. They dressed their playoff lineup. Canes obviously did not.
Yeah, other than, there's two ways to look at the last game, right? Rest or dress rehearsal. Ottawa looked at it as dress rehearsal. Canes looked at it as rest. But it's still, Kotkaniemi scoring, Roslovic scoring. You brought up the Svech goal. We were doing the whole, they hadn't scored and with a goalie in net since X amount of days ago, X amount of months ago for a handful of them. Now they get to go into the postseason on a good note. Those streaks are broken. It's better. Again, I'm with you. I don't think it's solved, but it's better. Seth Jarvis, are you ready for your close-up? Are you ready for your star-making turn? That's what I want to know about the kind of top line, right? Sebastian Aho, he's going to one day wear the C. He's been around for a long time. Seth Jarvis feels like he's ready for that star-making performance. There's only one way to do that in the postseason, and you got to produce. And you have to win in the first round. You have to make it to the second round where hopefully the Canes will have more featured games, and you have to produce in those games. And nationally, everybody go, oh, yeah, that guy was on Team Canada in the Four Nations, wasn't he? Oh, yeah, that guy does have 2 30-goal seasons before the age of 23. Oh, yeah. Taylor Hall, we talked about it yesterday. Low-key, super important, right? The Svech, Kotkaniemi, they scored last night. I still think Taylor Hall is going to have to be the straw that stirs the drinks on that second line if they're paired together. I had somebody, and this, you know what? I love our listeners for a million reasons. I don't know if I'm rubbing off on them or they're rubbing off on me, but I'm the overthinker, right? Like Dennis will tell you, right? I'm looking for stats. I'm overthinking everything. I'm like why did they do it this way, not that way? Somebody hit me up on social media asking if it was a big deal, if it meant anything that Taylor Hall was on the big poster outside the arena and not Svech. And I was like, that's the kind of overthinking I normally do, so I'm with you. I don't think it is, but maybe. Now that you mention it, right? Maybe they understand how important Taylor Hall is going to be, and maybe they're interested in taking some pressure off of Andrei Svechnikov. You don't have to go be top of the poster, above the fold headliner. You can just go play hockey and let others wear the weight of the world on their shoulders. And then there's this other thing. The goaltending. And then there's this other thing. Rod Brindamore asked after the game yesterday, in which you faced, as Dennis said, the fastball lineup from Ottawa, but a bunch of goals were scored. Not the best in front of him being played for Freddie, but Freddie gave up a bunch of goals. Rod asked what he saw from Freddie in his final start of the year.
Well, we left him out to dry there a bit. They made nice plays. I mean, that's their team. They got skill. And you give them power plays, you got no chance. So too many, and like I said, we left them out to kind of hang out there on a lot of those penalties. But other than that, he made some good saves.
So just a little bit ago, I went to the listeners. I went on Twitter and I just said, "Are the Canes ready for postseason?" Got a bunch of responses. First of all, there's a lot of people that think the Canes are ready for the postseason, and do you know why, Dennis? Because Alexander Nikishin is here. They think there is a lot of expectations on that guy. There's a lot of we're ready because it's Nikishin time. I hope everybody else is ready too. But there's also a decent amount of skaters are ready, goalies aren't. Ben on Twitter went even as far to say skaters, yeah, the goalies might be ready for the Southern Professional Hockey League playoffs, but they're nowhere close to the Stanley Cup playoffs. Now, that might be a little aggressive, but I do think it's as I said yesterday, it's the thing weighing on my mind the most. If I were Rod Brindamore and I wake up in a cold sweat right, with perfectly slick back hair. The thing that would be waking me up would be goaltending. And the idea of Freddie has to play. I mean, if we're posing it as this question, are you ready? Is Freddie ready to upend his reputation and step up when the postseason hits? Be better in the postseason than he's been in the regular season. Right? Everybody will say it. You're only the guy that can't win the big one until you win the big one. Right? You're only the goalie that levels down in the postseason until you get to a postseason and level up and carry your team through a couple games and help them win the big one. Can Freddie Anderson do it? And if not, when do they give Piotr the chance to do it? Do they give Piotr the chance to do it? Granted, he would have to step up probably 2 or 3 levels from where we've seen recently. And then there is the question that so many of you, I guess, think the answer would be like right next to Slavin. The question of where does Nikishin fit into all of this? Which Alexander Nikishin, the video's out there on social media. I believe it came straight from the Canes. He's in the Lenovo Center. Like, we have video of him walking up to the ice and doing the look around, like, so this is home.
Yeah, they posted that an hour ago on X.
He's here in the area.
Here.
If he's in the car, he might be listening. Hey, what's up, Alexander?
Hey, man.
Let us know which pairing is your favorite.
Let us know what kind of food you want. I'll let you know.
Yeah, if you need
I got you set up.
If you need some Rex, hit us up.
I know some people.
We got you. Yeah, as if for at least a little while he's going to be able to walk in anywhere. Actually, you know what I was actually thinking about? This is a side note. When that video was posted, I realized I've watched a ton of clips of him in the KHL. I've read a ton of interviews. Didn't really even know what his face looked like. And I was like, I've been talking about this guy. I've been so excited about this guy. Huh. So that's it was one of those, I don't know, some grainy KHL footage, always wearing the helmet. It was like he's a person. He's not just this idea of a young, gigantic skilled defenseman. Like he's a human and he's here. Finally felt real. Kind of getting to look at him. It will be interesting, and we're gonna, have to react really to how they use him, when they use him, when does he get put in the lineup. Tomorrow's practice will be buzzworthy, to say the very least, assuming he's involved. But mostly it's exciting. Devils, get ready. That's what I have to say. Devils on Easter Sunday. The Canes are playing the Devils on Easter Sunday. Get ready. 3 o'clock, Lenovo Center. Be there.
By the way, we have a poll up on our YouTube live chat. How many games is it going to take for the Canes to beat the Devils? Canes in 4, 5, 6, or 7. You let us know. And also, again, just leave your predictions. Leave your thoughts on this series. We want to hear from you guys.
I love that how many games will it take them to win? It's not will they win. It's how many games will it take them to win. We don't even give you the option. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. UNC got their quarterback last night as the transfer portal turns in football. Gio Lopez, South Alabama transfer, committed to UNC. I'll tell you why that makes so much more sense than Nico Iamaleava ever made for UNC. Coming up next.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
A record in sports that would be a big deal if it was broken and we'd all be in on it is 100 points in a game in the NBA.
Oh, yeah, big time.
If I told you within the next 20 years in the NBA, somebody would score 101 points in one game.
I could see it. Couldn't you see a team just waving the white flag and another team taking advantage of that?
Unsportsmanlike.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Hello, I'm John Heister for the Heister Automotive Group. And we're constantly looking for ways to serve you better. One of the ways we do that is with something we call a Go-See. And that's where you select a vehicle from our inventory, and we have thousands, and we get one of our product specialists to bring that vehicle to you at your convenience. How do we do that? Well, it's simple. We have a group of employees that are evaluated based on the number of presentations they do. They're glad to do it. So it's just one more way we get off our keister and bring Heister to you.
It's bow time. Yep, it's eating time again. Now you could unload groceries, chop, dice, mince, preheat, heat, slap around the smoke detector, and then celebrate with a big old pile of dishes. But if you're tired of cooking, or tired of sorta cooking, it's time to feed the whole family with Bojangles Fried Chicken Family Meal. With Bojangles' famous chicken, fixins, biscuits, and tea, you can forget the cookbook and spend some well-earned quality time with a delicious dinner from Bojangles. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time. Time to stop whatever you're doing for some of that bodacious Bojangles flavor. Satisfy your craving for flavor and your passion for boneless chicken with Bojangles 4-piece Supremes Dinner. 4 perfectly seasoned Cajun-fried whole breast tenderloin fillets, choice of fixin', a made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit, and Bojangles legendary iced tea. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's bow time.
Struggling to get the sleep treatment you need? I'm Megan Giggling, General Manager of Parkway Sleep Health Centers. You shouldn't have to wait for better sleep. Our streamlined process provides for sleep studies, CPAP machines, and supplies, without the long delays you'll find at other sleep centers. At Parkway Sleep, we'll help you get good rest faster, and with the care you deserve.
With over 20 years of experience, join countless satisfied customers who have discovered the Parkway Sleep difference. Visit us today at parkwaysleep.com. Parkway Sleep Health Centers. Sound sleep, sound health.
ZipRecruiter is the place. ZipRecruiter is the place for talented teachers, savvy software developers, and master mixologists. ZipRecruiter is the place where you meet all these people and more. That's because ZipRecruiter is the place for job seekers who are looking for new opportunities. In fact, ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day, so you can find the right candidates right away. It's no wonder that ZipRecruiter is the place for skilled skydiving instructors, accomplished airbrush artists, and proficient pediatricians. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter to hire, you're missing out. ZipRecruiter is the place that's so confident it can make your hiring easier that it lets you try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. So if you want the right candidates for all your roles, ZipRecruiter is the place to go. Try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
If Heineken Silver was a 60-second radio ad, it'd tell you all the stuff you need to know in only 30 seconds to keep things light and refreshing. Seriously, time me. Heineken Silver, a world-class light beer that's surprisingly crisp and refreshing. Made with only premium quality ingredients and just 2.9 grams of carbs and 95 calories. All without compromising on taste. Heineken Silver. Order now at Heineken.com/silver. Must be 21 and older to purchase. Enjoy Heineken responsibly. Whew. 30 seconds. That's it. Done. Peace.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Sunday suddenly feels really far away. It's like, all right, we're just going to be jacked up. It's time for the postseason by about like Saturday afternoon. It's like, all right, when's I've been fist pumping. I've been shaking, been twirling my shirt around my head like a helicopter for the last 18 hours. When does this game start?
I mean, we're less than 48 hours away till puck drop.
Which is nothing, but it also is.
It's like, come on.
Yeah, it's a long December 23rd to a kid right now. Listen, it's good. We're gonna get there, I promise. And then you're gonna be just wired the entire time. So have fun and enjoy it. Postseason hockey is awesome. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is also awesome when your favorite high school and or college and or pro football team finds its quarterback. UNC fans may have had just that. Gio Lopez, South Alabama transfer, committed to UNC last night. And I'm just going to say it after the brief flirtation with Nico Iamaleava, this makes so much more sense. Just an absurd amount of more sense than it would to go after Nico. And that's no disrespect to Nico, but not every team needs the splash quarterback. And I'm not suggesting that like, oh, Bill Belichick didn't have the splash quarterback. He had Tom Brady. I get it. He had a splash quarterback. But what was Tom Brady known for? I don't think anybody looks at him and says his physical skill set was the best we had ever seen. Remember that picture from the combine where he's sitting there in the, like, I don't know why they did this back in the day. They made you stand there in, like, light blue boxers and just kind of frumpy stand there, and they took the picture. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you can find it online. Lopez is a college version of what I've seen Bill Belichick value offensively in his career. Smart decisions, efficiency, take what the defense gives you. Now, I say college version because Gio can run. He is much more of a dual threat than you've seen Bill Belichick use in the past, although he did have Cam Newton for a hot second. But it's late career Cam Newton. He can run, but that's college, right? You play less games. There's more you can do to take hits off your body. You're not being chased by NFL defenders, so you don't have to be as careful with your quarterback. Here's what I mean, and I have numbers to back or rankings to back it up. I was surprised by this. Gio Lopez was 7th in the country in total yards per play last year. 7th in total yards per play. And I had never even heard total yards per play as a stat people use, but I was like, all right, if you're 7th in the country at something at South Alabama, let me see if this stat means anything. So I was on Pro Football Reference, and I clicked on it to see the entire leaderboard. Here are the 6 quarterbacks above Lopez in total yards per play. Jackson Dart from Ole Miss, who's likely, people have him as a first-round pick right now. Cam Ward from Miami, people have him as the number 1 overall pick right now. Curtis Rourke from Indiana, who led Indiana on a magical season and ended up getting hurt, but I probably will get at least a look in the NFL. Will Howard, who led Ohio State to a national championship and will be a draft pick. Dylan Gabriel, who was a Heisman Trophy finalist and will get a shot in the NFL. And then Sawyer Robertson from Baylor. That's it. And then Gio Lopez. 5 of those 7 names I just mentioned are probably going to be in at least on an NFL practice squad last year. 3 or 4 of them will be on NFL rosters, and all very accomplished college quarterbacks. So Gio Lopez is doing something right. The funny part is he is not near the top of darn near any other stat. Not even near the top of the Sun Belt in most stats. But he has this total yards per play thing, which tells me, smart, tells me taking what the defense gives him. It's not like he's averaging a high amount of yards per play because he has a bunch of 80-yarders and a bunch of negative games. It's like he averages 7.7 total yards per play, and most of them are between 6 and 9 yards. He is just nickel and diming you, taking what the defense gives you. That's what Tom Brady was the best in the world at. Yes, he did have random years where you got Randy Moss and was explosive, but for the most part, it was Edelman. It was Troy Brown. It was Amendola. It was Deion Branch. It was just Wes Welker. Even the tight ends. I know Gronk could stretch you down the seam, but it's not like he didn't have many 70-yarders. It's just a lot of throwing it to the open guy. Oh, you get in a defense that is susceptible to the run. Checking to the run, picking up the yards. Gio Lopez has some of that to his game. Maybe not all the power at the line of scrimmage, but the legs to take care of it where, all right, you're dropping everybody's covered. I'll pick up the yards on my own with the legs.
But also just having knowing when the moments to take the shot.
Mm-hmm.
That's the key thing as well. That's the thing what separates really good quarterbacks from great ones. And maybe Gio Lopez can do this when he's at Carolina is, hey, I'm going to take what the defense gives, like you mentioned, but at that right moment, all right, now I'm going to go for that back shoulder throw.
It was funny. I was watching John Gruden. Do you remember the Gruden classes he used to do on ESPN? He's doing them again now on YouTube. And I was watching because he was with the Syracuse quarterback, McCord. And he was like, do you know what happens 70% of the time in NFL on a drop back pass? And McCord was a little 70% of the time. He's like, you throw it to the check down. He was basically saying the smartest thing to do is be conservative, and then that 30% is when you have to see, it's got to be that move, right? It's whether it's down distance time tells you to take the chance, be a little bit more risky, or it's wired, right? It's the look you were hoping for defensively, and you end up with the touchdown. Gio Lopez has some of that. 25 touchdowns last year. He accounted for. He's a good player. I don't think he's the best skilled player. He's not going to be the highest priced quarterback in the world. Looks like it's about a 2-year, $2 million per year deal reportedly. Like that to me makes so much more sense for a Bill Belichick team. Right? Spend the money on defense, spend the money in the run game, spend the money on the offensive line. If you're going to be a Bill Belichick team, spend money there, and then the quarterback can be a smart decision maker that can make the throws, can stay ahead of the sticks, can take what the defense is giving you. That to me is one that kind of makes me feel sane again. Because there was a second there where I was going, I have no idea what Bill Belichick is doing over there. He's taken the guy that sat out for more money after agreeing to a deal because of the Nico Iamaleava rumors, and he's got his 20-something-year-old girlfriend copied on emails, and I was like, I can't predict anything. This is all new to me. Then just when I thought it was completely lost, they bail on the Nico Iamaleava sweepstakes. Nico goes to UCLA, and he picks up a smart, sensible quarterback from South Alabama, and I'm like, there it is. Now, I all right, I'm not going crazy. I'm not going crazy. And you know what else? Gio Lopez is another guy that plays a game kind of similarly, I would expect, from a decision-making standpoint, to what you'd want Bryce Baker to play. Bryce Baker is your incoming stud freshman quarterback who has more physical abilities, right? Bigger, laser rocket arm, all those sorts of things. But a veteran that he can learn from for a year, and then depending on how Gio Lopez plays this year, right? Everybody's on a 1-year contract. You make the decision next offseason who you want to roll with. But I think it's good. I think UNC fans, if you're excited today, and that's not because you're also Canes fans getting excited for the NHL playoffs. If you're excited for your UNC fandom, I think that's fair. I think you should be. Even with a handful of names you probably wish didn't hit the transfer portal. Because I think you got your quarterback. He's definitely the leader in the clubhouse to be your starter. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, Tim Donnelly here for Mainer Service Company. This weekend, you know what a lot of people are doing? Traveling, you're going to family. Maybe family's coming to you, which means guess what? Your pipes. They're going to be tested more so than usual, right? They're used to 3, 4, 5 people taking showers, 3, 4, 5 people using the toilet. Now you're going to have 20 people over on Sunday, and they all are eating brunch. And that means they're all, and that means your pipes are going to be tested. Well, if they're tested and they fail the test, I need you to call Mainer Service Company. Tim Donnelly here for Mainer Service Company. Not just plumbing, although if you do have one of those situations this weekend with company in town, call them. They'll get over there as quick as you can. 24/7 service all across the triangle. But heating, cooling, electric. Today was maybe, I only was outside for a little bit walking to and from the car, maybe the nicest day I've ever experienced in my life. It is just a beautiful day outside. We were grilling. We had a little company grill thing. Standing out by the grill was gorgeous today. But we know what happens in North Carolina, right? It will be hot in the near future. You want your air conditioning to work, and if it doesn't, Mainer Service Company, give them a call. Heating, cooling, plumbing, electric, they do it all. Give them a call, 919-361-0993. That's 919-361-0993, or visit them online, MainerServices.com. That's MAYNOR Services.com. When we come back, good news, we have the Dean's List. Really good news, we have 2 minutes of gold. Bad news for Duke basketball fans, Shelton Henderson decommits. How big a deal is that? Stick around.
Dear McDonald's, your breakfast menu? Fire. 10s across the board. I could be happy with anything, even though I ordered the same thing every time. Thanks for not judging me. I'll try something new next time. Maybe.
Get your faves for less. Buy a sausage McMuffin with egg for $2.50. Add any size Sprite for $1.49. Price of participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
At Bailey's, love not only sparkles, but it also gives back. Hi, I'm Marcy Bailey. Yes, we have high-quality certified diamonds that fit your budget. But did you know that when you say I do with an engagement ring from Bailey's, a donation is made to the food bank to help feed a local family of 4 for an entire month? Celebrate your love with Bailey's, where every diamond helps create a brighter future. Bailey's Fine Jewelry, voted the best place to buy your diamond.
Organize easy. Organize tough. Customize your work truck or van with upfit solutions from Van Products. Steel and aluminum shelving, toolboxes, data files, cabinets, drawers, conduit carriers, ladder racks, everything safe and secure. Everything built as unbreakable as you by Adrian Steel. Backed by the best warranty in the business. 3 years, 36,000 miles. Everything custom installed by Van Products so you know it's done right. From a single work rig to a fleet, choose custom installed upfit solutions from Van Products.
See if you're a winner every night. Watch live lottery drawings on WRAL-TV's 11 o'clock news. That's right, Carolina Pick 3, Carolina Pick 4, and Carolina Cash 5 numbers every night on WRAL-TV's 11 o'clock news. See if you're a winner before you go off to bed. Get your lottery numbers live every night.
North Carolina Education Lottery.
Only on WRAL-TV's 11 o'clock news.
March 12th, 2025, EP & Company, B2C, message from Bucks, multi-radio, US English, 30-second full mix.
Hey there, I'm Jack.
And I'm Stag.
We're just two deer that want to make sure you know it's deer season at your authorized John Deere dealer. The deer season that saves bucks. You know, like us.
Yeah, you can get $3,000 off select John Deere machines. No early wake-up calls or tree stands required.
Just a trip to your authorized dealer before June 2nd.
If you ask us, it's the only deer season worth celebrating.
Visit johndeere.com/deer season to find an authorized dealer and for complete finance details.
Interest rates have plummeted. It's time to call Loan Pronto. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. If you're looking to get cash out of your home equity, refinance out of a high rate, or do a home improvement project, Loan Pronto can make it happen in a matter of days. Take advantage of this opportunity and get tens or even hundreds of thousands out of your home equity. Pay off all your credit cards. Pay off your car loans. The average homeowner cuts their monthly bills by $1,000. Get more info at loanpronto.com. Inflation and higher costs have put a lot of people in a stressful financial situation. But if you own a home, there's a way out. Loan Pronto has multiple options that can help you get the financial freedom you deserve. Most homeowners get their cash in less than 2 weeks, and most don't even need an appraisal. Do the smart thing. Stop paying insane rates on those credit cards. Wipe them all out. Get a lower mortgage rate. Get some money for that home improvement project. It all starts by getting in contact with the experts at this, Loan Pronto. LoanPronto.com or call 919-381-1760. LoanPronto.com. Equal housing lender. NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval. NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Welcome to Staples.
Hi, I hear Staples prints it all.
Oh, you bet. Posters, banners.
Can you print it all for Mother's Day?
Oh, of course. Photo gifts like canvas prints, photo puzzles.
Can you print it all for graduation?
Sure can. Custom cards and invites.
Can you print a huge banner with the grad's picture?
Oh, definitely.
Even an embarrassing baby picture?
Oh, those are the best kind.
I know, right?
Print it all for moms and grads at Staples. And right now, get 40% off custom cards, invites, and photo gifts. N75 exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
Joint pain in your knees, shoulders, or lower back. It can stop you in your tracks. At DaVita Med Spa and Wellness, we offer a revolutionary course of treatment that can eliminate your joint pain and have you back to your old self in no time. Our regenerative therapies actually help repair damaged tissue to eliminate the pain without risky invasive surgery. If you suffer with joint pain and have been told your only options are medications, steroid injections, or surgery, DaVita Med Spa and Wellness offers non-surgical solutions using your body's own cells with minimal downtime and long-lasting results. Experience personalized, compassionate medical care at its best. Call our office now and see how you can get real, long-lasting relief from joint pain through regenerative medicine and the medical experts at DaVita Med Spa and Wellness, spelled DVIDA. Call 984-333-1313. That's 984-333-1313. 984-333-1313.
This hour of the drive brought to you by Lufthansa. Lufthansa is excited to take off from Raleigh Durham International Airport, connecting you to destinations like Germany, Italy, India, and beyond. Say yes to incredible journeys. Book today at Lufthansa.com.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I was just laughing at a video the Canes just posted literally a minute ago of Alexander Nikishin and Rod Brindamore speaking. It looks like it may be their first interaction. Alexander Nikishin, he knows a little bit of English. I think somebody taught him the phrase, I am ready. And you know what? That's all we need to know. Rod was, you know a little bit? Do you know how to speak? Oh, that's fine. It's good. You know what we speak? We speak hockey. And he's just like, I am ready. I am ready. You know what? You are ready. I also noticed that Rod Brendamore's kind of looking up at Nikishin. Rod's not a small guy. Nikishin showing the size that he brings to the table. I would have rather Nikishin got to the Canes 2 weeks ago, a month ago, but the fact that he's getting here right now does kind of just ramp up all the excitement. It's a, like a double wave for those of you that like body surf or surf, where the swell kind of matches up and two waves become one bigger wave. You have the playoffs, you have the Nikishin, and they're doubling up to make a bigger excitement wave for whenever they get out there on the ice. It's gonna be really fun. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is also fun to do a little Dean's List, so let's put the class in session. This is where we highlight those in the college sports world that need a little bit of extra praise, that deserve a little bit of extra praise. We'll start with, somebody needs to tell me if I just haven't been paying attention in years past, or if there are always just a billion walk-offs during baseball and softball season in the Triangle. Did you see Deanna Jennings for Duke softball?
I did not.
All right, let me paint the picture for you. She's a center fielder. They are on the road. They're up 5-4 against Notre Dame. So they're in bottom of the seventh. They're in the field. Runner on second, 2 outs. So the game-tying run for Notre Dame is on second, 2 outs. Notre Dame line drive to center field. Right, line drive to it gets down. Right, line drive to the outfield. Runner on second. You're thinking, all right, game tied. Let's get one more out. Go to extras. Oh no. Jennings charges, scoops it up, throws an absolute missile to home. Ends up getting the runner by like 3 steps. This is a walk-off rocket launcher from center field for the Duke softball center fielder.
Walk-off putout?
Yeah. Walk-off outfield assist from center to home plate on a rope. As a former quarterback, the arm strength, it was there. It's there. Someone get Jennings in a flag football league or something, because she's throwing deep balls. She gets a little Dean's List mention from me. Dennis, do you have a Dean's List?
I do, actually. NC State baseball pitcher Dominic Fritton. Yesterday, they're on the road playing Cal. It's 6 shutout innings yesterday for NC State in a 9-0 win. Had 102 pitches over 6 innings. Only gave up 6 hits, only 2 walks.
Wow.
6 strikeouts.
Back in the day, that would have ended with like 140 pitches.
Yeah.
Now, hey, analytics say we need to get you out of there. 102 is what you said he threw?
Yeah.
That's a lot for nowadays.
Oh, yes.
That's a lot. Andrei Stojakovic. I want him somewhere in the Triangle next year. I'm talking to all 3. I'm talking to State, I'm talking to Duke, I'm talking to UNC in no particular order. I don't care which school. I enjoy watching him play. I think he's a legitimate top-of-the-line power conference scorer. I want Stojakovic in the Triangle. He hit the transfer portal from Cal yesterday, was it? I think it was yesterday. Go get him. And then lastly, have you heard the saying, if you aren't cheating, you aren't trying? I think I have to put tamperers on the Dean's List. People that have tampered.
Okay. Interesting. So the cheaters. Okay. All right.
I guess because we just talked about it. Gio Lopez committed to UNC, quarterback from South Alabama. And naturally, right, I want all the details. I find an article, ESPN.com article. Click on the article. I'm reading about Gio Lopez. I'm going to read word for word a particular section here. Sources told ESPN that Georgia and LSU held discussions with Gio Lopez this spring, each with an eye on giving him a chance to compete for a starting spot in 2026. And I went, wait a second. Hold on. He didn't hit the transfer portal till Wednesday. He committed to UNC on Thursday. When did these conversations with Georgia and LSU happen? And then I kept reading. According to ESPN sources, North Carolina initiated contact with Lopez's camp in March and continued talks through Thursday when Lopez finalized his deal with general manager Mike Lombardi and the Tar Heels. They're not even hiding it anymore. Like, that's in an article. Like, hey, yeah, we've been talking since well before we were allowed to talk with them. But so was Georgia, so was LSU, so was this other program, so was this other program. I think it strengthened numbers.
I mean, technically, it's not illegal to talk to an agent, I guess, as long as you're not contacting the player directly. Isn't that the workaround?
Well, in that case, tampering without tampering.
Yeah.
So, literally, I just can't speak face-to-face with the player. I can talk to somebody who says, I decide.
That's how it works.
You could talk to Nico Iamaleava's dad, but not Nico?
Yeah. It's kind of how it works.
Well, in that case, the people that found the loophole to work around tampering get to be on the dean's list.
Yeah.
The fact that that's not tampering is ridiculous.
Well, because you hear it all the time of agents like reaching out to teams and stuff directly. Hey, what can you do?
That's what I'm saying. I think it's just, I thought it was. I didn't realize there was we're not actually talking to them. I just, like, if you text me and I forward the text to the player, and then the player texts me and I forward the text to them, like, that's all good. I was thinking it was just like everybody's doing it and the NCAA can't suspend everybody. I thought it was strengthened numbers, right? It's like a walkout of school. It's like, what, are you going to suspend everybody? Either way, I don't like it, but if everyone's doing it, you have to do it. Gio Lopez thought about going in the transfer portal in the first window, decided not to. Then during spring practice, while he was practicing for South Alabama, at the minimum, he heard from Georgia, LSU, and Bill Belichick's UNC Tar Heels. South Alabama has no shot in that conversation. He did not go into the transfer portal window the first time. So they're like, all right, we must be doing something right. Nope, didn't stop anybody. It's ridiculous. But I guess you got to do it to compete. Anything else you'd like to add to the dean's list?
No, I'm good.
All right. Let's go ahead and dismiss them. There it goes. Speaking of, I got nothing there. The Drive with Tim Donnelly. I was going to try to do like a real elaborate connection there, but I could just make it much easier on myself and say we have 2 minutes of gold with our very own Adam Gold, who is breaking down game number 82 of the regular season for the Carolina Hurricanes, obviously with an eye towards the postseason, which starts on Sunday. Here is 2 minutes of gold.
Hey, it's Adam Gold, and I've got 2 minutes for two 2-minute penalties almost on top of each other, a glorious penalty kill, and the greatest 24 seconds in NHL history. And it's all brought to us by Parkway Sleep Health Centers for better sleep. I am not even bothered that the Hurricanes lost 7-5 to the Ottawa Senators last night, wrapping up the regular season. But last night provided us with two phenomenal things. The first happened first. 24 seconds was all Brent Burns needed to play in his 925th consecutive game, because that's all he played. 24 seconds. One shift, skated around. I think he passed the puck once, and then he sat on the bench holding a stick, playing with his beard. I don't know what he did, but he was there for the entire game just watching. Sort of like we were at home. It is amazing. Look, I was there for the games where Cal Ripken Jr. tied and passed Lou Gehrig on the baseball Ironman record, and he had to play the whole game, or he did play the whole game, but he had to play at least 4.5 innings, had to play half of it. Burns had to play 24 seconds. I wonder if he just stepped on the ice and then got off and played 1 second, if that would have counted. Unbelievable. But in the game, one of the best things we saw was from one of the most maligned players among the fan base, Dmitry Orlov. For me, the game's first star for Carolina, and he was instrumental in killing off almost 2 minutes of a 5-on-3.
It's Anderson. He looks for a shooting lane, deflected away. Shot put right back on by Stutzla. Anderson gets to the post. Canes looking to clear, and they will. Orlov, what work there? 35 seconds left in the 5-on-3.
Orlov had a chance to clear it off of the Brindamore one draw. That didn't happen, but he came up with 3 big-time plays. Heck of a shift.
I think Dmitry Orlov is trending in the right direction, fans. I know you don't want to hear that. I think Brent Burns is actually playing pretty well, too. And Carolina's going to rely on these two veterans in the postseason. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. But DO7 was A-OK last night. ParkwaySleep.com. Start your journey to a healthier night's sleep. Parkway Sleep Health Center. Sound sleep. Sound health. Sound off for 24 seconds, and it counted. It's amazing.
Thank you very much to Adam Gold for 2 minutes of gold. I did see that the Brent Burns streak, if he didn't play any of the 500 games that he played before the streak started, just the streak is 65th most active games played of any active player in the NHL.
It's pretty wild.
It is. It's a long time. And hockey is not a sport where it's easy to just be out there for 82 games.
10 straight seasons he's done it.
That's absurd.
Sean Walker and Eric Robinson hit 82 games in a season for the first time in their careers yesterday.
And you know what? That's impressive.
It's extremely impressive.
82
really
games once is worthy of wow, way to go, guys. That's really difficult. And Brent Burns just does it year in and year out. It's absurd. So credit to him. And also, by the way, with Alexander Nikishin in North Carolina, right? He's around. He's talked with Rod Brindamore. He's been in the Lenovo Center. He's been hanging out. I keep seeing it said I would not expect Brent Burns to be the one that is held out if Nikishin gets an opportunity to play. You just saw Rod Brindamore give him 24 seconds and then sit him to keep the streak going. You do that to somebody you are loyal to. That's like doing somebody a solid. You don't do that to somebody and then turn around and say oh, by the way, you're down game 2 on or whatever you end up playing Nikishin. I think there's loyalty there. I don't think it's I'm not saying it's unearned loyalty. I'm not saying it's a bad thing that Rod Brindamore is showing loyalty to Brent Burns. I'm just saying direct your jokes elsewhere. Right, if I see one more time that I post about Nikishin and somebody comments with, there's Burns' replacement, I'm going to go, well, maybe at one point in the future, but I wouldn't expect it this series or next series, right? Maybe an off-season maneuver, but not coming up now. Dennis, you let's just talk Nikishin here real quickly. We've obviously been batting this around quite a bit, which is when do you put him in and who do you hold out when you do put him in? And there's one point in time where you were like, well, you can't even worry about this until he's here, right? It's great to make a decision, but then if he's stuck in Turkey for 2 weeks, it's like, why did I spend all the time thinking about it? Now that he's here, what do you think is the ideal plan? I'm still of the belief you don't roll him out game 1. No matter how many times he tells me he's ready, which I want to hear from him.
So you want to hear this?
We're happy to have you. Yeah, you are ready. You are ready. No, we're ready for you.
That yes.
You are ready.
I don't blame
Rod started
game 1.
speaking with his hands. He was doing some hockey. He was miming a stick. He was hey, you got to do what you got to do.
I wouldn't play him game 1 just because he's got to practice with the team first. Mm-hmm. Does he know where to go on the ice? I mean, I say that, literally and figuratively. Does he know where to go?
Yeah, we're not saying he's going to put
his team plays.
We're not saying he's going to put his gloves on his feet. We're saying that it's a different system, and being 15 feet to the left or right is enough to give up a goal.
Exactly. I have to, if I'm paired with the guy, I got to trust that he's going to be on the ice, because if in the Kane system, if one guy loses their man, it all falls apart. So you really have to have a lot of trust when you're out there on the ice. I think ideally, if they're up 2-0 or 3-0, you can play them either Friday or Sunday next week in New Jersey in game 3 or 4. If you're up 3-1 and you're back home for game 5, that might be a good chance to get him in as well, because it's a lot easier to control his matchup when he's on home ice.
I like the first time you're up 2 games.
Yeah.
If you're up 2-0, if it's 3-1, whenever you're up 2 games, I like that. And then, but I also don't want to get into a point where You keep waiting. Like, I want him to play this postseason.
Oh, as do I.
And I don't want to get it to a point where, hey, we're waiting for us to be up 2 games, and then suddenly you're like halfway through the Eastern Conference Finals and you've never been up 2 games. So you're still just waiting on this possible golden egg-laying goose to put out there. So, I would start with the plan of whenever we're up 2 games in a series, we're definitely putting him out there. But after literally every game, we're going to get our brain trust together and just ask, should we adjust this plan?
Yeah, they're scheduled to practice tomorrow.
And then, yes, you're right. And I believe he'll be out there, which will be really cool.
Yeah, he'll be out there at practice for sure.
The second question is who comes out. But I'm actually gonna switch that question on.
Okay.
Who does he skate with? Who is the ideal pair for him? Obviously, out of the, you would assume right guys, but I guess you could skate anyone kind of offhand. Who is the ideal pair? Because I think that could help you decide who sits out as well.
I think ideally he would go with Jalen Chatfield.
I 100% agree.
I think because Chatfield has the speed and the recovery in order to make up in case there is any sort of out of position. I think that's who he skates alongside is Jalen Chatfield if he does play.
Which does give you the opportunity to think of who will be out, which would be also makes sense there, which would be Dmitry Orlov to me.
I think it is. I think it is Dimitri because Shane Gostisbehere runs the point on your top power play unit. That's
and
a
him and
big
Walker
time
make
thing.
sense together.
Yes, those guys have been playing together all season long. I mean, barring the injuries and stuff, but pretty much it's been those two together for the whole season. Burns, like you said, is not coming out, and he and Slavin are the most trusted pair by Rob Brindamore because Slavin being that number 1 defenseman overall. So, yeah, it just makes perfect sense to have Jalen Chatfield play alongside him.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Duke fans, I'm going to ask you – I'm going to ask a question of Duke basketball fans real quick. Just not even a question. It's more of a request. You don't have to hide your emotions. You're allowed to say I'm bummed. There's not a way to spin a top 15 recruit in the country decommitting as like this is going just our way. You can work to make it not a disaster. You can even work to make it so like it's a blessing in disguise. But at the moment, Shelton Henderson decommitted from Duke. Shelton Henderson, depending on where you're looking, is anywhere between like the 11th and 14th best recruit in the incoming recruiting class. He's a wing with a versatile skill set from Texas. He was the 4th member to commit in this class behind both Boozers and Nick Hamenia, who are all also 5 stars. So you go from 4 5 stars to 3 5 stars in the recruiting class. You fall from the number 1 recruiting class to the number 5 recruiting class, 4 depending on where you're looking, which ranking. Henderson is a legit player at a position of need for Duke, and he decommitted. That's the crux of it. You don't have to talk yourself into like, this obviously means John Shire has a shadow commitment from 9 other dudes that are better than him. Maybe he does. It would just be wildly unprecedented to like hide commitments. Right? I'll admit that there are quite a few hooks in the water, right? There's a lot of lines out there in the water. Nate Ament is still considering where he will play. He's the 4th ranked recruit in that recruiting class. PJ Haggerty from Memphis, who scored 21.7 points per game last year, good for 3rd in the country. He hit the portal yesterday. We talked about Andrei Stojakovic from Cal, a legit scorer. He was first team All-ACC tournament this year. Like they're all out there. If Henderson read the writing on the wall and said Duke's still pursuing all of these guys, and I don't know if they are or not, but I'm saying if he read the writing on the wall and said, I want to go somewhere where there's not as much competition, I guess that's good for Duke as long as you land one of these wing scorers. However, there's also this possibility. Jay Lucas, the former assistant for Duke, who's now the head coach for Miami, was Henderson's main recruiter at Duke. So if that's the guy he had the best relationship with and he leaves and goes to Miami, and that means that he already knows the agreement, he knows how much money was being tossed around, he knows what he'd have to do. If he called up Henderson and said, hey, why don't you follow me? I can get you the same or more at Miami. That's not good for Duke. And that doesn't mean that there's, It's the vending machine thing, right? When the vending machine, the candy bar falls out, why does it do that? Because the candy bar behind it is pushing it out? It's not always that case, right? It's not always, well, we got a bigger king-size candy bar pushing them out. Sometimes they just left. So to sit there and pretend or put up the facade like a top 15 recruit in the country is decommitting is somehow good for your program. It's like, well, they might be able to spin it into good, right? But Henderson's a good player. You want those. You want the good players. And you might say, well, he's not as highly ranked as so-and-so. Well, yeah. Guess who else wasn't ranked in the top 10 in the country in recruits last year? Con Knippel, right? You bring in a guy who has a skill set near the top, and you give him a little bit of good coaching and surround him with good players and give him an offseason with an elite program, they might just leave as a lottery pick. You literally just saw it. Different skill set, not comparing them as players, just as like quality recruits. Henderson was actually ranked a little bit higher than Knippel. So it's okay to be like, ooh, I don't know about this. Let me see how it plays out. You don't have to immediately get angry like, no, it's actually good.
I also, this made me wonder, if he probably knows that, well, if Caleb Foster's coming back, is Isaiah Evans coming back, does Tyrese Proctor come back? Now things are crowded.
They are.
So maybe he's sort of looking at like, you know what? Now that I'm learning that some of these guys are coming back that I didn't anticipate were going to be here, maybe I just have to go find playing time somewhere else.
100% possibility. The only pushback I would have is two. Well, actually, one of them is not even a pushback on your theory. If we accept your theory, that just means you have less depth, right? Because even if he wasn't going to work his way onto the floor, you'd still rather have the 14th ranked recruit in the country as your emergency guy in injury case than you would the 57th, right? You'd still rather have a good player in a role. Secondly, and this is pure like outside observation, I don't believe there are a ton of top 15, top 20 recruits in the country over the last 15, 20 years that are looking at somebody that didn't play this past year and going, well, they're going to take my minutes, right? If Caleb Foster came off the bench in garbage time for the second half of the season, I don't know if the 14th ranked recruit in the country is going, well, I don't know how I'm going to compete with him. And I'm not saying he shouldn't be saying like, oh, Caleb Foster can take my minutes. I just think that, you know, once you're a McDonald's All-American, I think your confidence is high in your own abilities, as it probably should be. You're, you know, far be it from me to tell all those Jordan Brand classic All-Americans that they need to worry about bench warmers on the places they're going. And I'm not calling Caleb Foster a bench warmer. I'm just making a point. That would be unusual for me. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. When we come back, it's a little football at 4. Daniel Jeremiah talked about the Panthers at pick number 8. What are they going to do? What are they going to do? Stick around.
Let's go! It's the Stanley Cup Playoffs.
Aho now to Jarvis. Jarvis, go get the shot!
Let's go, Canes!
Kochetkov, stop! It's on the goal line behind him! He does a snow angel in the paint!
Go Canes!
Playoff hockey in Raleigh is something that you can't describe, and it's because of you. So we want to be here.
The Canes' road to the Stanley Cup runs through us. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports leader.
Make your next tailgate more electric when you plug into a new Ford F-150 or Super Duty truck. Not only do they light up the scoreboard with outstanding payload and towing numbers, with available Pro Power on board, you can turn these Ford trucks into mobile generators to give your tailgate party an extra boost of energy. Visit your Carolina Ford dealer or buyfordnow.com for great offers and to learn more about F-150 and Super Duty. See owner's manual for important operating instructions.
A torn ACL, stress fracture, aching back, a hip that's had it, life on hold, and all you want is to get it back. Enter Wake Orthopedics. Our fellowship-trained orthopedists do it all. General, sports, pediatric, joint replacement, fractures, spine, prevention, advanced diagnostics, progressive treatments, minimally invasive procedures, surgeries, and more. Visit wakemed.org/wakeortho and get back your life.
It's bow time. Yep, it's eating time again. Now you could unload groceries, chop, dice, mince, preheat, heat, slap around the smoke detector, and then celebrate with a big old pile of dishes. But if you're tired of cooking, or tired of sorta cooking, it's time to feed the whole family with Bojangles Fried Chicken Family Meal. With Bojangles' famous chicken, fixins, biscuits, and tea, you can forget the cookbook and spend some well-earned quality time with a delicious dinner from Bojangles. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time. Time to stop whatever you're doing for some of that bodacious Bojangles flavor. Satisfy your craving for flavor and your passion for boneless chicken with Bojangles 4-piece Supremes Dinner. 4 perfectly seasoned, Cajun-fried, whole breast tenderloin fillets. Choice of fixin', a made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit, and Bojangles' legendary iced tea. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's bow time.
It's time for the Coastal Scholar Athlete of the Month.
Hello, Creighton Blackwell here at Coastal Credit Union 99.9 The Fan, and we're here to celebrate yet another Scholar Athlete. This month, we're at Middle Creek High School, where we celebrate our newest Scholar Athlete of the Month, Kristen Norton.
My parents have always been there for me. And then my teammates, they really helped me with the mental part of it. So they really helped bring me up when I make mistakes or something and just keep me grounded.
She's just a great person. She's a great leader by example and also vocally.
She's just that type of person. It doesn't matter what the situation is, anything that can help the team. She's a great young lady.
It's amazing to have on the team. She's a really good role model and a leader on the team.
She's always first to step in and try something new to help the team.
1, 2, 3, Mustang!
What does winning this award mean to you?
It just means that all my hard work has really shown. Some days I'm what have I done? What have I accomplished? But getting this was people have actually seen my improvements and my accomplishments. So it's good. It's really good. Yeah.
Congratulations, Kristen.
For over 20 years, 99.9 The Fan and Coastal Credit Union have been recognizing scholar athletes at Triangle area schools. If you'd like to nominate a high school athlete, text AWARD to 919-860-5326. That's AWARD to 919-860-5326.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Big truck accidents can cause life-changing injuries, and life-changing injuries deserve life-changing money. I know big truck wrecks, and I know how to fight those big insurance companies. If you've been hurt by a big truck, contact us at ritchielaw.com. I'm on top of it.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Nice looking afternoon for us. Lots of sunshine, just a touch breezy, and a comfortable high of 83 degrees with nice low humidity. Overnight tonight, it's on the milder side with a low of 60, and then a hot Easter weekend, a high of 89 Saturday and 88 for Sunday.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb and Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 4 o'clock check-in for money. Dow Jones at the closing bell down 527 points to 39,142.
Let's move the chains. Time for football at 4.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We are now less than a week to the NFL draft first round. It would have taken place a week from last night, and we'd be getting ready right now for rounds 2 and 3, which will take place Friday night. Panthers have the 8th overall pick in the first round. You know what? I was thinking of this. Excuse me. ESPN put out a mock draft where they gave 2 picks for every. They're digging deep now, right? Now it's right, because we have a billion mock drafts and nothing has changed since the combine. So the mock drafters are out there I did a mock draft, but this time I only watched film rotated upside down. So I call it the upside down mock, and it's who looks best with it flipped from right-handed to left-handed. That's what I did this time, and I'm like, oh, okay. I did a mock draft this time, but it was a game of telephone. So I got 30 people sitting around a big conference room, and I whispered a name into the person to my right, and they whispered it, and they whispered it, and whatever name was at the end, that's the mock draft we picked. I said Michael Williams. It got to Shedeur Sanders. I don't know. Right? So the mock drafts are getting aggressive. ESPN did a mock draft where they gave 2 picks for every pick. One is what they called drafting for need. The other was drafting for value. And for the Panthers at number 8, they gave Jalen Walker as a pick for need, and they gave Teteroa McMillan, the wide receiver, as a pick for value. And I started thinking about it, and I went, you know what? I think a lot of teams do have to make that decision. Are you going to draft for need or are you going to draft for value? Right? Because there are teams out there that might have 2 really good corners, but the best player is a corner. What do we do? I think the Panthers don't have to worry about that this year. They're kind of like, I almost said they're lucky. They are in a situation where the best players expected to be available at 8 are also at premium positions of need for the Panthers. So it's like you don't have to judge like who the best player happens to be at a player of need. Part of that because you got a lot of positions of need, right? You don't have to make that decision. So it's a bit easier. It's like, best player is an edge rusher. It's like perfect. You need a bunch of those. Best player might be a wide receiver. Great. You need a few of those too. What if it's a pass catching tight end? You need one. Really, the only thing that you could stretch is if the best player available is a tackle and O-lineman. You don't need one now, but you will probably next year. I don't know how much longer Moton's going to be playing, so don't resist the urge just because if you have a guy that's like graded way above the rest and he's an offensive lineman, don't feel locked in. So again, in a weird way, it's not lucky that you have so many positions in need, but in a weird way, you don't have to make the decision that like so many are debating right now. With that being said, Daniel Jeremiah, NFL Network, had a media availability today, and Dennis was able to ask him about the Carolina pick at number 8. And let's start with the Jalen Walker deal because Jalen Walker is, speaking of mock drafters, even when you're making 2 picks in a mock draft, one of them has to be Jalen Walker. Like he's getting mocked to the Carolina Panthers all over the place.
By everybody.
So here's Daniel Jeremiah on why Walker would be a great fit for the Panthers.
When you go into a defense that's dead last and points, yards, rushing yards per game, tied for 29th in sacks, 32nd pressure rate, he helps all those areas. He is an impactful player. You can move him around. He just would add a really explosive element to their defense. I would love to see how they could play him off of Derek Brown. And being able to, let him kind of shoot some gaps that are going to be vacated with all the attention that Derek Brown's going to require. So I think he'd be a fun fit there. Plus, just from like a leadership standpoint, a culture builder, he checks those boxes as well. So that's why I love his fit there.
You know how I feel about that second part. I love everything about the first part. I actually let me walk it all back. The leadership stuff, that's a bonus. Okay, I don't think you draft a guy because he's a leader. That can be a tiebreaker, and if it happens to be the player who you think fits your team best and they're a leader, you love it. The reason why I think he fits with the Panthers is because, and Dan Morgan said this to the media, the Panthers see him as a true outside linebacker. They see him as a guy that gets out on the edge, and that to me is where they need a player. If they saw him as like a hybrid, if they saw him as an off-ball backer that can get after the quarterback, if they saw him as a queen on the chessboard that can do a little bit of, I'm a little less understanding of the fit. But if they see him truly as a outside linebacker, get after the quarterback, make passing downs miserable for the other team, then I think it's a good fit because I think he's dynamic in his ability. I think he finishes with violence once he gets to the ball carrier. I think he's a good player. Daniel Jeremiah is also hearing that Carolina could move back, and this is his explanation.
They're a team that I that a lot of people around the league expect is going to try and get out. There's a decent number of needs still left on that roster, and can't they parlay New Orleans need for a quarterback into scaring somebody to come up in front of New Orleans? I don't know if they can pull that off, but at least there's people around the league that think they're going to effort to do that in Carolina.
This gets hairy now. And by the way, I like the way Dan Morgan has operated, but this is where it gets hairy. You don't want to be the team that everybody knows wants to get out of your pick, because nobody's going to offer you real value when they think you want to get off. So you need to either build up a bidding war where you have multiple teams and their interest will, or you have to truly bluff them and say, no, we're going to stick and pick. You got to pay us more. We're going to stick and pick. You don't want to be the team that obviously is like, we'll take anything. Please, we want to trade back. Give us a seventh. Give us something. We'll move back. You don't want to be that team.
I think they would hold the cards if someone's trying to go up and get a quarterback. Like,
yes.
Hey, if you premium position, it's going to cost you a little extra. Otherwise, we're going to stay right here.
And we've talked about that. There is the perfect storm of, if people truly believe that the Saints will take Shedeur Sanders if he's there, and Shedeur Sanders is there at Carolina, and there are other people in the league that look at Shedeur Sanders as a long-term franchise starting quarterback. And it's smokescreen season. We've heard a billion different reports. Some, at one point in time, he was kind of a lock to be a top 5 pick, top 4 pick. Now it's Albert Beer said there's many evaluators that don't see him as a first-round pick at all. So if the perfect storm happens with Shedeur Sanders, then yeah, you hold the cards and it's glorious, and you trade back and you dance, right? That's what you do, happy dance. I would love to see Dan Morgan's happy dance.
Let's say a team is offering you something to move up to 8 if you're Dan Morgan.
Mm-hmm.
Do you call up the Saints and go, hey, look, someone's offering something. You want to flip? 8-9, I know you're in our division, but we don't think this guy's going to be any good. But then you can say, hey, look, if you really want this guy, we're going to need your next 2 first-round picks along with pick 9. We're also going to need a couple thirds. You can really hold them at a ransom if you wanted to.
I think
just to see if they bite.
I don't want to. I think it depends on your relationship with the team moving up. I think it depends. Is this someone you trust? Is this someone that you've shared information with? Because if they're trying to move up and you go and they say hey, do me a solid and just don't let New Orleans know. How much do you want to honor that? And you don't have to, by the way. This is the NFL. This is big boy. You can go, oh, yeah, I won't tell him. Oh, of course. Call up New Orleans. Hey, just so you know, so-and-so's on the line. You don't have to do any of it, but I do think you need to have allies in the league, right? You do need to have allies in the league that you can trust. So when the reverse happens, right? Because maybe somewhere down the road, right, you're going to be hoping for a player, and they're going to call you up and go, hey, just so you know, so-and-so is offering me to come get your guy. You do what you want to do. You want to be able to trust somebody, right? It's big Survivor fan. It happens. If you're on Survivor, old school Survivor, not new school Survivor with all the stupid twists, you got to trust somebody out there. You got to trust somebody out there. So I think it depends who's asking. And you don't want to ever be in the best buddy group with people in your division, so you can lie and cheat and steal to New Orleans. Even if nobody's calling, call up New Orleans. Hey, just so you know, we got a couple calls. Sounds like they want Shedeur. I know we're in division, but if you can outbid them, you can outbid them. Get first and final, right? First offer, best offer. You got 1 minute and 30 seconds. Click. If you wanted to do it, you can do it. Then 50 years from now, when all the GMs are out of the league and they call up, who was the other team on the line for Shedeur? Oh, nobody at all.
Nobody.
You gave us that extra second just because, I wanted it. Pancake eating, never mind. For those of you that have seen the movie Draft Day. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We have the ladder challenge coming up, and I have to put my hand up again. I made a mistake 2 nights ago in the ladder challenge. I made a much more hilarious mistake last night for the ladder challenge. I'll tell you what it is. Stick around.
Move your sports day forward.
The golf world needed Rory's win at the Masters just as much as he needed the green jacket. We have someone new to root for, and he's relatable. Just a guy who cranks one into the water one moment, then saves par by smashing one out of the rough. Now, if he's really turned the corner, let's see if he contends at next month's PGA.
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
As America's leading business lender, Bank of America is on your corner and in your corner, right here in the Triangle. With $215 billion in business loans and over 3,700 business specialists across the nation, we help businesses thrive so communities prosper. What would you like the power to do? Learn more at bankofamerica.com/local business. Bank of America, official bank of FIFA Club World Cup 2025. Copyright 2025 Bank of America Corporation, all rights reserved.
Workdays can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be. With the Cintas Apparel Plus program, you'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, with high-performance fabrics and an uncompromising fit that stretches and moves with you. Don't leave looking and feeling good to chance. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Hey, Greater Triangle area, Chick-fil-A invites you to enjoy a large waffle potato fries on us in the Chick-fil-A app. Join us this week, April 14th through 18th, to get your reward for a large waffle potato fries by downloading or signing into your Chick-fil-A app with location services on in the Greater Triangle market area. Redeem when you order through the Chick-fil-A app at a participating Greater Triangle area Chick-fil-A restaurant from 10:30 a.m. to close. Offer subject to availability. Rewards are single use only. Limit 1 per person per Chick-fil-A account. See further details in the app.
John Party. She's a Friday night heartbreaker. Honky Tonk Hollywood Tour. She was a heartache on the dance floor. Friday, October 10th, Red Hat Amphitheater. Got a little dirt on my boots, but I'm taking you uptown. John Party. On sale now at livenation.com. Presented by Live Nation. Don't miss John Party Live.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Welcome to Staples.
Hi, I hear Staples prints it all.
Oh, you bet. Posters, banners.
Can you print it all for Mother's Day?
Oh, of course. Photo gifts like canvas prints, photo puzzles.
Can you print it all for graduation?
Sure can. Custom cards and invites.
Can you print a huge banner with the grad's picture?
Oh, definitely.
Even an embarrassing baby picture?
Oh, those are the best kind.
I know, right?
Print it all for moms and grads at Staples. And right now, get 40% off custom cards, invites, and photo gifts. N75 exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
Breaking news, and this one is almost unbelievable.
Yeah, it's all about new customers at Bet365 because they get $150 in bonus bets when they bet $5, win or lose. And even better, bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, and player props.
There you have it. Bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. And see why. It's never ordinary at Bet365. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in North Carolina. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. T&Cs apply.
If Heineken Silver was a 60-second radio ad, it'd tell you all the stuff you need to know in only 30 seconds to keep things light and refreshing. Seriously, time me. Heineken Silver, a world-class light beer that's surprisingly crisp and refreshing. Made with only premium quality ingredients and just 2.9 grams of carbs and 95 calories. All without compromising on taste. Heineken Silver. Order now at Heineken.com/silver. Must be 21 and older to purchase. Enjoy Heineken responsibly. Whew. 30 seconds. That's it. Done. Peace.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Go ahead and explain the music.
You can acknowledge the head of the table, Roman Reigns, Tim. It's WrestleMania weekend.
All right. I don't even know what that means, but
you know exactly what it means.
But nobody cares what. Never mind. I don't, but I understand it. Now, I understand now why I don't, because it's wrestling. Do you want to take like 3 or 4 minutes and let us know about what the
oh no, you're making picks at the end of the show.
Oh,
WrestleMania
okay.
will be included.
Can you give me a primer of some kind? Anything?
No.
No? All right. Then I'm going to write down. What was that name? Roman Reigns?
Yeah.
Roman Reigns. Just in case I need to come up with a name that I got one at least. All right. Speaking of me being really bad at picks, like this isn't even me being bad at picks. This is me not losing the 100-meter dash in the Olympics. This is me putting like the starting blocks on backwards as a sprinter at the 100-meter dash at the Olympics. So 2 days ago, I made a bet for the numbers game and I bet on, I think it was the Bulls, because I thought they were playing Sacramento. Sacramento was not their opponent. They were playing Miami, and Miami smoked them, so I lost the bet. So yesterday I made a big point. I was like, let me make sure that the team that I'm betting on is playing the team that I think they are playing. And I made sure that Ja Morant and the Grizzlies were playing against the Dallas Mavericks. I made sure of it. And I bet on Ja Morant to go 30 or more points plus rebounds plus assists against Dallas. That game's tonight. Yeah. So I made a bet for yesterday's ladder challenge. The game is tonight. So the bet is still live. I haven't gotten it wrong, but I also haven't gotten it right. So yesterday, I got it, I guess, wrong for yesterday. But I'm rocking with it today, where my $10 can turn into $11.11 if Ja Morant has 30 or more points plus rebounds plus assists. I don't know what to do because it's like my bet from yesterday never even took place. So I think I stalled, right? I never got off the line, never got out of the blocks. I didn't lose, but I didn't win. I didn't tie. I didn't play.
You just simply did not play.
So that's where I'm at. Ja Morant, 30 or more points plus rebounds plus assists versus Dallas tonight. And I do have a side bet on him to score 30 or more points, just points. Dennis, that's all I got. Take it away.
So I had Detroit Red Wings taking on the Toronto Maple Leafs yesterday. I just needed over 3.5 goals scored. That was a minus 750. They combined for 7 goals last night. So I was up to $11.33. I'm going to take that $11.33 and put it on a game that I know is actually being played tomorrow.
There you go.
I checked the date. It is the Colorado Avalanche of the Dallas Stars. Game 1. Give me over 3.5 goals in this game, minus 700. So my $11.33 will turn into $12.94.
Do you know how bad it is? I actually went to check on TV where the NBA games were yesterday.
That's funny.
Where is it? No, is it on some weird streaming service? Where is what is? Oh, it's tomorrow. Yep, that's 2 straight bad mistakes for me. We'll get better. We'll watch the film and we'll get better. That's all we can do. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That's the number, or the ladder challenge, excuse me. Let's look towards the weekend, shall we? And I know when this game is being played. I know this 100%. Canes Devils are playing at 3 o'clock on Sunday.
By the way, real quick, hour-long Storm Watch. So 2 o'clock Storm Watch with Adam Gold right here on The Fan.
Then that goes through the postseason.
Yes.
So, for example, on the Tuesday game, which is also home for the Canes, it starts at 6. Not a lot of favors being done for the Canes in the timing and scheduling category. But we'll be on air from 3 to 5, and then there will be an hour-long Storm Watch leading into the puck drop at 6. We'll also be, for Tuesday's game, not Sunday's game, but for Tuesday's game, we'll be on the plaza, the concourse outside of the Lenovo Center for our show. So we encourage everybody to stop by. That's for Tuesday's game. But we do know the times. We do know when it all is. It is Sunday at 3, as you just heard Dennis say, hour-long Storm Watch with Adam Gold from 2 to 3. But they're playing the Devils, okay? They're playing the New Jersey Devils, a team that we are familiar with as a fandom, right? You see them a bunch of times, but also you got to know who they are going into the postseason. You got to know who they are going into the postseason and who you're matched up with as you get ready for the playoff series. And if there's one thing I took away from the Devils, watching them this year, researching them, getting ready for this opening series, special teams. Special teams. They are, as of right now, the third-ranked power play in the entire league at 28%, and the second-ranked penalty kill in the entire league at 82.4%. So, especially after a game like last night, whatever charm you have to the refs, you got to find a way to charm them. You want to stay out, I should say, of the penalty box. And by the way, I know the Canes' penalty kill is very good. They're actually best in the league this season, but they haven't been as good as of late. And usually you'd think the advantage goes to a great power play over a great penalty kill. They call it the advantage for a reason. They have the advantage. Yesterday there was a lot of Gossespear got the 10 minutes right at the end, didn't he?
I think he did
for abuse of the officials.
There's a lot of questionable calls yesterday.
I'm not denying that at all, but I'm saying whatever, how people used to accuse, it was always a college basketball coaching thing, right? They're working the refs, right? You yell at them, you throw your jacket and everything in the first half, and then in the second half, all the calls go your way, right? You call them over, you have a conversation, and then all of a sudden, 3 straight calls on the other team. Whatever you do to charm and sway an official, do it on Sunday. Because the Devils, since Jack Hughes got hurt, and we'll talk about that, they are 30th in 5-on-5 scoring in the league. 30th in 5-on-5 scoring. So right down there at the bottom in 5-on-5 scoring. So you want to play this game either 5-on-5 or you with the advantage, and you can't a phantom call. That could be the difference because they're so darn good at the special teams, and since Jack Hughes has gone down, they've been not great at 5-on-5. So I almost want to lean on, be a bit conservative if there's hey, I might get called for this. If I make this move or whatever it is, stay out of the box by all accounts. This series. And especially if you get the good version of both. If you, by the way, just a shout out to everybody on Twitter, right? I asked earlier today. I tweeted out. I said, "Hey Canes fans, not Cans fans. Hey Canes fans, simple question: are the Canes ready for the postseason?" At first, there were a lot of Nikishin references. Now there's a lot of goalie references. Now there's a lot of, if the goalies get it going, if Freddie locks in, yes, if the goalies. Everybody on the skaters are, the goalies aren't. If you get a good version of the goalies, if Freddie's in there and he's playing well, and if when he needs a break, Pyotr Kochetkov plays well, this series could be a bunch of 2-1 games. Right? These are two teams that play a style of hockey that leads to very good defense. And I'm not saying they don't have talent offensively, but it could be a 2-1, 3-2 kind of series. So if that happens, right, the one power play goal, the one time you took a chance and you got called for it, you took a risk and you got called for it, it could be the difference. By the way, Rod Brindamore was asked what he saw from Freddie Anderson in his final start. That was the game last night in Ottawa. It's kind of the last final deal before he goes into the postseason. This is what Rod had to say.
Well, we left them out to dry there a bit. They made nice plays. You got that's their team. They got skill, and you give them power plays, you got no chance. So too many, and like I said, we left them out to kind of hang out there on a lot of those penalties. But other than that, he made some good saves.
Yeah, he was left out to dry quite a bit. So that's what happens when you have 4 guys called up for the game and 4 guys sent back down to the AHL already, which has happened, by the way.
They rolled out a preseason roster.
So he was left out to dry. In perfect world, would he have made a whole bunch of crazy saves? Yeah, but I'm not putting much in that game. That's not to say he went off in the best note even before that, but I do think the goalies are going to have to step up.
By the way, in the 20 games that the New Jersey Devils have played without Jack Hughes since he got hurt on March 2nd against the Vegas Golden Knights, in those 20 games, they're 9-10-1, so 500 hockey basically. They've scored 56 goals during that stretch, so just under 3 a game. over 26, nearly 27% of those 56 goals they've scored have come on the power play. They're 15 of 46 on the power play during that stretch, which is just under 33%. That's where they're actually making up the deficiency of Jack Hughes not being there, is scoring on the power play. By the way, you know who has 11 power play goals this season? Stephen Nason, former Carolina Hurricane. He has 22 goals this year. Literally half have come on the power play.
There were a couple Devils I would have guessed there, and Nason was right there. I should have gotten that one. So hey, guess what you're gonna have to do with Stephen Nason on the power play? Deal with him in front of the net, trying to score grimy, dirty goals. I don't know where we've seen it before. That is one of those things that the poetic justice of it is pretty unbelievable. But yeah, like I'm not making this a deal for no reason. They are good on special teams. And since Jack Hughes has been out, and we do need to talk about that. Jack Hughes, 70 points in 62 games this year. He's a dude, right?
He led their team in points. Actually, Jesper Bratt did.
Jesper Bratt and
I think he was second on the team.
Nico
Hischier.
There you go. Both since Jack Hughes has gone out, I should say, have been over a point per game in the time since Hughes left. So obviously they're not as good as if they had Jack Hughes. I'm not suggesting they are. I'm not suggesting that the pendulum of odds doesn't sway aggressively in the favor of the Canes when Jack Hughes is pulled out. But I am adding they've got guys that defer to Jack Hughes when Hughes is out there, and when Hughes is hurt, they become more aggressive and they get theirs in Nico Hischier and Jesper Bratt. So, like, it's not a pushover, right? This is not a team. Every once in a while it happens in the NFL. No disrespect to the guys I'm about to mention, but you catch a playoff team with like TJ Yates or shout out to UNC or Snoop Woodley or not Woodley. Who's the Huntley? Snoop Huntley for like a backup quarterback because of multiple injuries gets the start in the postseason, and it's just like, oh, this one, it's going to be a 10-point spread. Like this is not that. Even though Jack Hughes is their best player and he's out, they have some guys that can do some things that if you overlook them, you'll get beat. You'll get beat. And I tend to believe, and we've seen this with the Canes, when you play a defensive system, when you are one of the teams that allows, bottom 5, bottom 7 goals allowed per game, I do think that's a bit like, I don't want to say this term out loud, but a bit more injury proof. Like if you're a high flying up and down squad and your best center gets hurt, it's like, oh no, what are you going to do? He needs to account for 1.8 points per game. Meanwhile, if you're a team that grinds and you're a team that plays great defense, and like I said, the Devils allow the 5th fewest goals this season and the 6th fewest shots this season. Like if you play that, you lose your best center, you lose your best winger. It's like, all right, well, we can still win 2-1, right? we can still find a way. So basically what I'm saying is don't overlook the Devils. And it happens. I do it all the time. I'm not saying it's not something that takes place, but let me find the response. Bunch of responses, by the way, for the Canes. I can't find it right now. Too many, which is a good problem to have.
As you're looking for those, I'll remind people out there, if you're watching on YouTube, or make sure you do subscribe on our YouTube channel. We actually do have a poll question out there. How many games is it going to take for the Canes to win the series against the Devils? Canes in 4, Canes in 5, Canes in 6, or Canes in 7? A vast majority right there in the 5-6. So right now, 47% of our voters say Canes in 6, 41% say Canes in 5, 9% say it's going to go to a Game 7, 3% thinks it's going to be a sweep.
Sweep! No, here's what I was looking for. Katie on Twitter said, yes, they're ready for the postseason because the matchup against the New Jersey Devils is favorable.
It really is.
Herbie on Twitter said, I don't think they're ready, went into a whole thing about why they're not ready, but then added, I hope we make it past New Jersey. Like there is a looking down upon Jersey happening, which I get it. I'm not necessarily here to defend New Jersey, but I am here to suggest that the Canes lock in because they have enough firepower, if you will, to catch you if you're sleeping. I think the Canes are the better team. I think they're more talented. I think they're deeper. I think they're healthier. I think there's a lot going for them. But if you go in thinking that, I think you can get caught. That's what I'm getting after. And then there's the rest of the NHL playoffs. We talked about this, Dennis. There are, by the way, the drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Dennis mentioned there's some polling going on. There's some comments that you can do on our YouTube live stream. So we love hearing from you. Referenced a bunch of the comments already today. This is kind of I don't know if it's the best played or like we're going to see the highest quality hockey of like any playoffs ever, but it's low-key like storylines loaded in the first round of the NHL playoffs. Colorado at Dallas. The Mikko Rantanen implications.
Mm-hmm.
The Mikko Stanko. You know who's going to be watching that game locked in Saturday, 8:30 p.m.?
Who?
Logan Stanko.
Oh, yeah?
Baby.
Watching his old team?
Watching his old team and his new team's kind of involved somehow, some way in that whole deal. Right? He wants to – like, what if Logan Stankoven outproduces Mikko in the first round?
I would love it.
Right? And
gosh, make it happen.
And by the way, I'm not even saying like Logan Stankoven has to go score, 4 goals to do it. Mikko hasn't exactly been lighting it up. Say Stankoven gets, 2 goals and 2 assists in a 7-game series. That might be enough to outproduce Mikko.
Make it happen.
How awesome would that be? What about Jankowski? I know he wasn't part of the trade, but it feels like he was. But anyway, Colorado at Dallas will be electric. Ottawa at Toronto.
Oh, by the way, don't forget about the Colorado series with Dallas. Don't forget that Martin Necas and Jack Drury are playing on the Colorado side. Also, something to keep in mind as well, if you're a hockey fan, Gabriel Landeskog coming back. The guy hasn't played in an NHL game in over 1,000 days.
Sheesh.
It's been that long recovering from like a quad knee injury that he suffered that he played through in order to help Colorado win a Stanley Cup a few years ago. He played through something pretty bad, and they told him, "Look,
is that the last time he played?
That's the last
Colorado
time he played."
Holy smokes!
So for him, he was told, "Look, if you play through this, you're probably going to make things worse." And he said, "For a chance to win a cup, I'm gonna do it." And it's literally been over 1,000 days. And he played in the AHL with their team on a little conditioning stint for a couple games, and he's back up. Gabriel Landeskog, that's a massive blockbuster addition without even having to actually trade somebody.
If he's him.
I mean, even if he's half of him,
Well, yeah,
that's
true.
a hell of a player.
Oh man, that is. And by the way, you said like for hockey fans, that's a long time.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was that long until you put like, feels like Colorado won that thing a century ago in hockey terms or in hockey life. Ottawa, Toronto. Anytime you get two teams from Canada playing against each other in the postseason will be pretty real. What do they call it? What province is that? Are they both in battle for something? I don't know.
Wait, which series?
Ottawa, Toronto.
I mean, it's the Battle of Ontario, I guess.
Yeah, I was gonna say Ontario.
Yeah.
Hey,
look at you.
I had a little geography lesson. Somebody told me on Twitter. Minnesota at Vegas is another banger. There's some really, really good. Montreal at Washington. I don't know if that's as exciting, but hey.
Hey, don't sleep on Montreal, by the way. That's a really good young team. Do not sleep on Montreal. I would not be surprised if Montreal takes that in 6 over Washington.
And you know what else? The part that I would focus on, you just said good young team. Sometimes the young teams are the ones that pull off the upsets the easiest because they don't know what they're not supposed to do. They don't like they're just out there. They're just playing hockey. There's a lot of, and then Edmonton at the Kings. That's another banger. That is just, we're not even going to see that one till 10 p.m. on Monday. But just another banger of a series. It should be a really, really fun early round of the playoffs.
Florida-Tampa. Like, goodness.
Did I not even say that?
Tampa is a unit, by the way. I seriously, people sleep on Tampa.
Are we not seeing that till Tuesday?
That's not till Tuesday.
Goodness gracious.
I know. But Tampa Bay, you got to think that top line with Braden Point, Nikita Kucherov, Jake Gensel, and I still have Victor Hedman on defense. Oh, Andrei Vasilevsky. Still one of the top 5 goalies in the league. Yeah, give me Tampa. Canes Tampa Eastern Conference Finals. I'm calling it right now.
Say it again.
Canes Tampa Eastern Conference Finals. I'm calling it right now.
Little Gensel revenge. Little Jake Gensel's a jackwagon.
He might be. I don't know.
Go get it.
I'm going Eastern Conference Finals. I'm going Tampa versus Carolina.
That'd be fun. That would be really fun. If the Canes go Devils, Caps, Lightning, that's a really fun.
Oh yeah,
really intense, hard fought. You're going to earn your way. You'll be undersized in darn near every matchup. But also I think Rod Brindamore, Canes, he wants your best. He didn't want to come out of a weak East, even though it is not as daunting as the West. But no, I'd be fine with that. I think it'd be really fun. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We have Real Bold Predictions coming up, which is one of my favorite sections of the entire week. So stick around for that. It's a all Canes postseason edition of Real Bold Predictions, by the way. So stick around. Coming up next.
If you've been hesitating to go ahead and get that new Ram 1500 Laramie you've been eyeing, John Heister Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington is making it easy for you to pull the plug. All new 2025 Ram 1500 Laramies are now $15,000 off at John Heister. Guts, glory, Ram, all yours. The powerful engine, the comfort, the advanced technology, all yours. For $15,000 off. See dealer for full details. Get off your keister and get to Heister. John Heister Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington.
Cool cars, cool people, good times. America's favorite car show is back. The Good Guys 10th Griot's Garage North Carolina Nationals presented by Tremec. This Friday and Saturday at the North Carolina State Fairgrounds in Raleigh. Cruise on out and see over 1,500 of the Southeast's finest hot rods, muscle cars, and trick trucks. Autocross racing, a Saturday night demolition derby, fender midway, live entertainment, and more. This Friday and Saturday at the North Carolina State Fairgrounds. Details at good-guys.com.
The place to be is at First Horizon Stadium in Cary when the North Carolina Courage hosts Scooby-Doo and Hucks at the Pitch on April 19th, presented by Veterinary Emergency Group. Have a Scooby scavenger hunt and watch the Courage play Bay FC. Tickets at nccourage.com/tickets.
When it comes to restoring cars, Diego's got skills. And with Total Wireless in his corner, the whole world sees them. With the dual camera system on his new iPhone 13, he can take amazing car photos and post them on the fly with super fast 5G, and even turn this hobby into a full-time gig. His claim to fame? Claiming iPhone 13 with 5G on us. Get iPhone 13 with 5G on us when you switch to the Total 5G or 5G Plus Unlimited 3-month plan. Total Wireless, in your corner. For limited time while supplies last. Valid in store. Device taxes and fees may apply. Requires port in and ID verification. Restrictions apply.
It's bow time. Yep, it's eating time again. Now you could unload groceries, chop, dice, mince, preheat, heat, slap around the smoke detector, and then celebrate with a big old pile of dishes. But if you're tired of cooking, or tired of sorta cooking, it's time to feed the whole family with Bojangles Fried Chicken Family Meal. With Bojangles' famous chicken, fixins, biscuits, and tea, you can forget the cookbook and spend some well-earned quality time with a delicious dinner from Bojangles. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time. Time to stop whatever you're doing for some of that bodacious Bojangles flavor. Satisfy your craving for flavor and your passion for boneless chicken with Bojangles 4-piece Supremes Dinner. 4 perfectly seasoned, Cajun-fried, whole breast tenderloin fillets. Choice of fixin', a made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit, and Bojangles' legendary iced tea. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's bow time.
Child abuse. It happens in all communities. Learning to spot the signs of abuse and knowing how to report it can save a child's life. Children's Advocacy Centers of North Carolina supports over 50 centers statewide, providing hope and healing to young victims of abuse, neglect, and trauma. Join us in the fight against child abuse. Visit cacnc.org to learn more. That's cacnc.org.
All right, go ahead. Who's this one?
Oh, come on. John Cena?
All
Everyone
right.
should know this one.
I don't think you realize how little of a wrestling fan. Did not grow up with it. None of that kind of stuff. So when
I'm sorry
when
for you.
when Dennis and Paul and Graham and all them, everybody that you know from 99.9 The Fan, when they start doing the wrestling talk around the cubicles, I mean, I feel like Alexander Nikishin watching Rod speak English, and all I know how to say is I am ready. Like that's what I got. I'm like, The Rock, right?
Hey, don't be shocked if you see him on Sunday.
I will be shocked if I see him on Sunday, because that means he's like at the Canes game or something.
There's that.
Like that's where I would see, but or like at a Easter egg hunt with my kids. That's where I would be shocked to see The Rock. But he might be there at WrestleMania. Is WrestleMania one of those deals where like you never know? Could be anybody.
Yeah, there's definitely that, but he's involved in storylines. So yeah, he'll be there.
All right. Maybe I'll add this to a real bold prediction. Are you ready for real bold predictions?
As always.
All right, real bold predictions. The only place in sports media where we don't just say bold predictions. We make sure they're certified, they're authenticated, they are legitimate with a checks and balances system. I'm going to make a prediction that I think is bold. You will either hear the bold enough bell or the not bold enough buzzer. If I get a buzzer, I have to make it bolder on the spot until you hear the bell. If you have bold predictions, you can feel free to send them in. You can put them in the YouTube live stream comments. 99.9 The Fan on YouTube. Search for it. Subscribe while you're there. Or you can also send them to me on Twitter, at Donnelly Sports on Twitter. DONNELLY Sports on Twitter if you have a bold prediction, and I can run it through our little system for you if you want to. I'll say it and see if it gets a bell or a buzzer. To start at least, I might have to throw in a WrestleMania, but to start at least, we'll go with Kane's postseason edition of Real Bold Predictions. You ready for this? Buckle up. Kokaniemi. Yes, Barry Kokaniemi, in case you were wondering which one. Half a goal per game through the postseason. Let's go. I said it. What did I say yesterday? I said he was going to be the first goal scorer. I said it was going to be in the first period, and I said it was because he's been holding back. He's been saving. He's been not wasting any of the good shots in the regular season, so he can open up the floodgates. The levees can break, and there can be a flood of goals in the postseason. I said it, and then what happened last night? Me and Jim in Hillsborough were correct with the Kokaniemi first goal scorer prediction.
That you were.
And Ottawa was playing their good squad. It was not as if he went up against a bunch of AHL defensemen. Kokaniemi.
Here is Jesperi Kokaniemi's
I know.
Playoff stats.
This is why it's bold.
Yeah, 69 career playoff games.
All
nice.
right.
12 goals, 10 assists, minus 12.
All right. Mm-hmm. Yes. Well, I couldn't say, like, he's going to have one goal this postseason.
Hey, that'd be one more than he had all last postseason.
I know, but that's not going to get me a. Would one goal have gotten me a bell?
Hey, close.
Oh, then I way overpromised.
You way over-delivered here.
I felt like I had to be bold. I felt like I had to be really bold. It's Kane's postseason edition of Real Bold Predictions. All right, well, let's see this one. I'm. You know how we like specific on our predictions? Alexander Nikishin scores a goal on his first career shot in Game 5. You know why I picked that exact scenario? Because Rod Brindamore scored his first career goal on his first career shot when he made his NHL debut in a Game 5 in the NHL postseason. Nikishin. So I'm thinking they go up like 1-0, then it's 1-1. They go up 2-1, 3-1. He comes in for Game 5, scores a goal on his first shot, maybe picks up an assist later in the game, plays every game the rest of the postseason. And then somewhere down the line, he's, well over 1,000 points scored, and he's the coach of the Canes for... I don't know why I'm just putting him on Rod Brindamore's career path. And then he's coaching his son like 25 years into the future. And his son gets his first career goal. That happened last night, by the way, for Rod Brindamore.
That is, that is pretty bold.
I got the bell just for the first part, though. He just has to score on his first shot in Game 5. I don't need the 20-plus years into the future deal. How about this? The Canes this postseason are 5% or more better on the power play than they were in the regular season.
John, what were the power play stats?
They were 18.7%.
So they're going to be 23% or better?
Yes.
Ooh.
They are going up in the first round against the team with the second best penalty kill in the league.
Yeah.
So 5% jump from what they've been doing in the regular season is not bold enough, is what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to go, 6% better?
But they could go 1 for 4, and that would be 5% better. Like for the whole series.
Yeah, I think they'll have more.
Plays.
I think they'll have more than that. They're going to get more than that. Would be either 1 or less per game.
All right, 6%.
All right.
I'll give it to you.
Thank you. See, they still got to be, I'm sure that's practically 25%. That's 24.7%. 25% is a really good power play. And they're going up against a team with the second best penalty kill in the league and the best non-Canes edition. So it's literally the best penalty kill that the Canes could possibly face based on how they've been this year. All right. I talked about this earlier, but there's gonna be a theme woven through the show. Seth Jarvis, more than a point per game this postseason. Keep in mind, based on his postseason history, the best he's ever been is 0.82 points per game. So we'll go 1.2 points per game for Jarvis or more.
Trying to do a little quick math in my head. 5 games, 1.2. That's 6 points in 5 games.
We can make me double his career best. We'll go 1.5. 1.5 points per game. And by the way, I'm not just talking about this series. I'm talking about the postseason.
Yeah.
Which means if they go all the way to the cup, he's going to have to be a 50-point scorer.
Hey, 30 points in 20 games.
Yeah, exactly.
Who says no?
In 2021 in the postseason, he was 0.57. In 2023, he was 0.67. In 2024, he was 0.82. Guy's getting better. Guys on it. That's the way you want the line graph to look. Arrow pointed up on the old points per game in the postseason for Jarvie. All right, this one's. There's some context here. You have to get here for it to even be possible. But I'm going Sebastian Aho scores an overtime game winner against the Devils.
Which game?
You want me to pick the game? How about I pick the score?
Okay.
It's 2-2 at the end of regulation.
Okay.
He scores the game winner in overtime. In any game of the first round. I could see there being some really clutch goals scored in this game. Quite a few, or in this series, I should say. Quite a few close games, low-scoring games where you either need the sealer, right, the nail in the coffin, you're up 2-1, and with 3 minutes left, you get another. Or it's 1-1, it's 2-2, it's 3-3, and you need to be clutch. And one thing we've seen from Sebastian Aho this year is he has been fairly clutch at the end of games, and especially in overtime. So looking forward to it. I've got 2 more here before we potentially get to WrestleMania.
Okay.
Brent Burns scores in Game 1. Really? I don't even know how to make that bolder. He scores on the power play in Game 1. Rod gave you 24 seconds to keep your streak going. Reward that loyalty, Burnsy. Reward that loyalty. You got the cool streak. You get to keep it rolling. Now go score. And then power play would be lovely. That's just, I had to do that. I didn't want to. I had to. Sorry, to go back to the Jarvis question.
Okay.
What was the lowest I could have done in points per game for Jarvis and gotten the belt? Did I go too far with 1.5? I just looking at my notes. And
yeah, you said 1.2. I was like, well, that's 6 points over 5 games is 1.2, which I think is easily attainable for him, just because I think the playoffs fit his style of play. So I was thinking
7 over 5 would be 1.4. Would that have been enough?
I think I was thinking 7 over 5.
All right. Last one for the Canes postseason edition.
Okay.
Canes sweep the Devils 4-0, baby. 4-0. 4 shutouts.
Oh, okay.
That's where I was going next. If you would have said not bold enough, I was going to throw 4 shutouts out.
Hey, if they get 4, all right, if the Canes get 4 shutouts in this opening round, if their 4 wins are all shutouts, I'll get a Canes tattoo.
All right.
I'll get a Canes tattoo.
Do I get to choose anything?
I mean, if you want to get a tattoo, you can.
No, I'm saying like location, the logo. Well, okay. Well, Canes tattoo is pretty.
I'll get a Canes logo.
All right, there you go. There you go. Let's go, Freddie. Come on, Nikishin. Nikishin's going to be the Wayne Gretzky of defense. He's going to be out there doing everything. You're going to be like, I didn't know that you had that guy. I hope it comes down to there's 3. I hope it comes down to there's 3 shutouts. And in the 4th game, it's like a puck gets behind the goalie. It's trickling towards the line. They're up like 4-0, so it doesn't even matter.
Mm-hmm.
Like, remember Martinook last year sliding in to get at the last
6?
possible second?
Gosh, still
like
remember
that
play.
happens in order to preserve that you have to get a tattoo would be electric.
I will gladly do it.
I mean, it's very, 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 very infinite varies unlikely to happen, but it would be kind of electric. Oh, WrestleMania.
Yes. Waiting for these bold predictions.
We'll go with There's somebody with the last name Owens.
Yeah, he's not wrestling. He has a hurt neck.
Oh, all right. That's what I need to know.
That's like a legit thing.
That's okay. Sometimes that stuff's kind of a part of the story, right?
Yeah.
We know that's not. He's not gonna. Could I go like Owens is gonna rip off the neck brace and go pin somebody?
No, I think he legit's having like neck surgery.
How are we feeling about? Do you know? This is the only era I know. How are we feeling about like Goldberg doing something?
Yeah, he's not.
Big Show.
No.
Undertaker.
No.
I guess it has to be The Rock then. The Rock pins John Cena.
Those two are in cahoots together, so that'd be quite the...
Oh, it's the turn. That's what they always talk about, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm talking about in case you can't tell. The Rock pins John Cena. When it happens, I want my odds. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9.
I don't know where you want to go with this one.
I got nothing else for something with Roman Reigns. I got him written down. What would have been a good bold prediction there? Like, what is a bold prediction for WrestleMania?
A bold prediction for WrestleMania? Actually, I'm going to give this one to one of our listeners. This one comes from Christopher L. I'm sorry, I take this back. This one comes from Dirty Wookie. My apologies.
Dirty Wookie.
From Dirty Wookie. Seth Rollins, who's in the main event Saturday against both Roman Reigns and CM Punk.
I think Rollins is Owens. That's what Seth Owens was what I was thinking about. I think it was Rollins.
Seth Rollins. Paul Heyman helped Seth Rollins in the main event on Saturday night. So that way,
Paul Heyman's the broadcaster, right?
Paul Heyman. Well, he has them. He's like the manager of both Roman Reigns, but he's also been affiliated with CM Punk. So we have to turn on both those guys to help Seth Rollins out. That'd be a bold prediction.
All right, there you go. I should have kind of crowdsourced my bold prediction, but instead I went with The Rock pins John Cena. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We have the starting 5 coming up next. I can tell you this. I know who this is. Alexander Nikishin is in America. He is in Carolina even. He's in Raleigh. Stick around.
Let's go! It's the Stanley Cup Playoffs.
Aho now to Jarvis. Jarvis, you'll get the Giants goal!
Let's go, Canes!
The Chetkov, stop! It's on the goal line behind him! He does a snow angel in the paint!
Go Canes!
Playoff hockey in Raleigh is something that you can't describe, and it's because of you. So we want to be here.
The Canes' road to the Stanley Cup runs through us. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports leader.
So, you found the one and want to get married? Next step, you need the ring. And not just any ring. The perfect engagement sparkle that exemplifies your love. Bailey's Fine Jewelry is here to help. Our diamond experts, wide selection of high-quality diamonds, and financing make saying I do easy. We guarantee you'll love the ring or your money back. You're invited to see why Bailey's has been voted best place to buy your diamonds. Visit us today in-store or at baileybox.com to find out more.
Need CPAP supplies fast? I'm Brandon Giggling, president of Parkway Sleep Health Centers, and we are the Triangle's top sleep provider, offering quick access to the equipment you need for better sleep. Get the right supplies right when you need them. With over 20 years of experience, our expert team is here to help you sleep better, sooner.
Discover why so many trust Parkway Sleep Health Centers for better sleep. Visit parkwaysleep.com now and start your journey to a healthier night's sleep. Parkway Sleep Health Centers. Sound sleep. Sound health.
If you've got a gas-powered engine, keep it running like new at every fill-up. Stable in-season protection is your engine's preventative medicine, cleaning and protecting the entire fuel system in season. In outdoor power equipment, prevent gum and varnish buildup that could cause a rough or non-running engine. For cars and trucks, increase fuel efficiency and power by removing deposits, ensuring your engine's long-term health. Stable outperforms the competition in independent lab testing. So at every fill-up, start with Stable.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-444-2013. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-444-2013. That's 800-444-2013. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-444-2013. 800-444-2013.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Workers' comp can be tricky, but my law firm will be on top of all the complicated paperwork and sneaky deadlines so that all of your I's are dotted and T's are crossed. If you've been hurt on the job, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm WRAL meteorologist Mike Mays. Did you feel the change today? It warmed up. It got a little bit more humid. Tonight's partly cloudy. The low temperature 62. Partly cloudy, breezy, and much warmer on Saturday, 89. The old record is 93.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb and Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 5 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones down 527 points to 39,142. Market update brought to you by Lufthansa. Lufthansa is excited to take off from Raleigh Durham International Airport, connecting you to destinations like Germany, Italy, India, and beyond. Say yes to incredible journeys. Book today at Lufthansa.com.
It's 5 o'clock. Time to serve up the biggest sports stories of the day. Here comes your starting 5.
The starting 5 here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. Haven't done this in a while, but before we get started, personal favorite time. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, 99.9 The Fan on YouTube. We are constantly putting out interviews, podcasts, a bunch of content on our YouTube for local sports fans right here in our area. So if you haven't done so yet, please go subscribe. And if you have already done so, please go tell a friend. Go grab a video, share it, tell them to subscribe, comment, do something to interact. We look forward to it. So there you go. That's my little personal favorite plea. 99.9 The Fan on YouTube. Now it's time for the starting 5, starting with number 5.
Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, we're happy to have you. Yeah, you are ready. You are ready. No, we're ready for you. You know a little bit of English. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. It'll come. Okay. It'll come. And don't worry about that. You know what you know? You know hockey.
I know hockey.
That's right. That's what we speak out there. Yeah, you're gonna be good.
I know hockey. That was Alexander Nikishin and Rod Brindamore, Canes posting some content with Alexander Nikishin. He is in the area. He is in the Lenovo Center. He is talking with Rod. Expectations are high. This is one where it's like, whenever he makes his debut, and I can tell you the fans are overwhelmingly in favor of his debut should be game 1 on Sunday against the Devils when the playoffs get started. Whenever he makes his debut, I have a feeling this might actually be said out loud by someone somewhere in the triangle. I mean, he only had 2 points. I thought this guy was something special. He might be, and I'm not saying this is what I'm predicting, but he might be one of the greatest defensemen of all time. He doesn't have to be that on the first moment he steps on the ice in a new country, for a new team, in a new system. Just temper your expectations a little bit.
I really have no expectations. I take it as whatever he gives is bonus.
If he plays, I expect a certain base level of
quality, just defense,
just competence.
Yes, obviously. But I'm talking people like, oh, he's gonna step in and score 7 points right away, in this opening round series. I was like, whoa, if he scores 2, just take it. Just take it.
Yeah, I mean that's where it should be. Which is why I think the question we were asking earlier of who he gets paired with is interesting, because I'm like, I don't know if I want him out there 24 minutes. You know what I mean?
No.
So whoever he's paired with, unless it's somebody that gets, special teams time and otherwise, there's a whole interesting conversation that I'm sure they have talked about at length in their decision-maker meetings. But it is, as we talk about, it's a first-class problem. I genuinely think they have, if you include Nikishin, and if you include Morrow, who, by the way, was sent down to the AHL, but that's just a sign of what I'm about to say. There's a lot of depth in the defense for the Canes right now. And who comes back next year, maybe that depth evaporates a little bit. But for right now, I think, realistically, Rod Brind'Amour has 8 guys that he would trust on the ice in a playoff moment, if you include Nikishin and Morrow, which are obviously, maybe not the most experienced group of guys. But if you're playing them over one of the experienced group of guys, you must trust them. So I like where they're at depth-wise on defense right now. And we were talking about this earlier today. You never want to talk about it, but I've heard that playoff hockey is a bit physical. I've heard that there's a little bit of toughness involved in playoff hockey. So if there is some form of an injury, it's nice to have depth. You'll probably need it at some point along the way. That's number 5. Let's hit number 4.
1, 2, 3, 4, all together.
Bryce under center. Chuba's the deep back. Snap. Give it to Chuba. Chuba inside the 10. 5. Slides into the end zone. Touchdown Panthers. He spikes the ball, and Carolina's got a lead.
Chuba Hubbard, not just a running back, also NFL draft pick announcer. The NFL released a list of names of former players mostly that will be announcing picks during the 2nd and 3rd round of the NFL draft. That is a week from today, the Friday of the NFL draft, 2nd and 3rd round. There are a few teams that are sending current players. Chuba Hubbard is going for the Carolina Panthers. First of all, Chuba Hubbard, and I'm not saying this as a diss, okay? We're not in 4th grade. Chuba Hubbard seems like a little bit of a teacher's pet. He seems like when they talk about him, it's like he is exactly what we want in a Panther. It's like I went to a school called Smithville Elementary School, okay? And we were the black and yellow color was our team colors, like our school colors. We were the Dolphins. And if the teacher ever went, little Jimmy is exactly what we hope for in a Dolphin. Jimmy was getting picked for everything, right? We need somebody that has to go down and pick up the snacks from the cafeteria. Like Chuba Hubbard is that guy. I'm not dissing him for it because your coach likes you is not a diss. Just like, you do what you're supposed to in class and the teachers like you is not a diss once you get out of 4th grade. It's not something you should actually be made fun of for. But Chuba Hubbard seems to 110% encapsulate what Dave Canales wants the Panthers to be. So I'm not surprised he's being given these opportunities. I'm not surprised he's being chosen for the extracurriculars. He's 100% the hall monitor and the whatever other special jobs that you can have with the Carolina Panthers. If we're I said earlier, I'd look into everything too far. If we're looking too far into this, probably means they're not considering a running back in the second or third round, because it would be a special kind of cruel and unusual punishment to make a guy go up there and announce the draft pick for somebody that might take his job in a year or two. So there's something you can take away there, right? The Colts are sending Jonathan Taylor. I don't think Jonathan Taylor will be announcing a running back drafted for the Indianapolis Colts for the same reason. There was one other that I thought was kind of funny. Let me look at them real quickly here. Oh, the Saints. This is what happened. So the NFL put out the list, and in the list they had three, like a key, a legend. You know what I'm talking about? If it was bolded, it meant it was a former player Hall of Famer. If it was like traditional font, former player. If it was italicized, current player. The current players: Jonathan Taylor, Chuba Hubbard, Eric Armstead for the Jaguars, defensive lineman, and Ryan Ramczyk of the Saints. And I went, that's kind of weird, right? Like, I thought the Saints might be in the mix for a offensive lineman in the second or third round. Why would they send an offensive lineman to announce that? Guess what happened since then? Ramczyk retired.
That makes sense.
So it's like, oh no, he's 100% in on them drafting an offensive lineman.
He's announcing his replacement.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, well, now that I'm gone, they're going to need somebody. How about from the University of? Like, it's going to be that kind of deal. I think they should spice up the draft as much as they can. I love the draft. I will be paying attention as closely as anybody. Even I will admit, from like mid-third to the seventh, it can draw on a bit. Anything you can do to spice it up, I'm there for. I don't know, get someone, super fans to announce, do something. I don't know. I don't have my thinking cap on today. It's Friday. It's after 5. Daniel Jeremiah spoke to the media today. NFL Network draft analyst. He was asked about by Dennis, actually. He was asked about the Panthers draft pick at number 8, and he hears that they could be poised to move back.
They're a team that a lot of people around the league expect is going to try and get out. There's a decent number of needs still left on that roster, and can't they parlay New Orleans need for a quarterback into scaring somebody to come up in front of New Orleans? I don't know if they can pull that off, but at least there's people around the league that think they're going to effort to do that in Carolina.
Trading back is, I made fun of the mock drafters earlier for getting to the point where the mock drafts are there off. The mock drafts have jumped the shark at this point, right? The mock drafts we did a mock draft, but for this one, we picked the player we least like in the draft pick, but the most likely. I don't know. They have all these weird rules. I actually think mock drafts should not have trades, because it is so easy to just say, like, trade back to number 17 and take the guy who's going to be there. It's not that easy. It's hard. Like, I think the Panthers want to trade back, but I think there's any given year, I think there's probably 15 teams that want to trade back in the first round. 15 teams don't do it, though, because it's hard. Sounds good. Why don't I just get extra picks and get the guy we were going to draft anyway? Ha ha! It's like, well, yeah.
If only.
Yeah. Why not? Why don't I just go buy a car and only give them an offer for 50% and they accept it? Doesn't work that way. That's number, what was that, 4? Let's hit number 3.
Too strong. The rebound for Foster. Looking to push the pace. 5 on 4. Foster to the right. Cooper to the corner. Knipple again. Why not? Timeout Miami. 12 straight.
Did you intentionally pick a highlight against Miami there, Dennis?
No, I didn't.
All right, well,
it just happened to work that way.
You could have said yes, and I would have given you credit for the storytelling.
You're darn right I did.
Shelton Henderson is decommitting from Duke. Depending on which recruiting service you look at, he is anywhere from 12 to 14, maybe 10 to 15 as overall recruit in the incoming freshman class. He was the second highest ranked recruit on most services in the Duke recruiting class, behind only the taller Boozer, just ahead of Nick Hamenia and well ahead of the perimeter guard Boozer. It's not ideal for Duke to be losing top 15 recruits in the country at this point in the recruiting class. I will say this. Part of the reason why you recruit for depth, part of the reason why it's such a big deal that guys like Caleb Foster are coming back are so it doesn't sting as badly as it would sting other programs. But it's okay to say it does sting. I mean, most college basketball programs out there, if they were to, at this point, mid-April, after most of the recruiting class is committed, if they were to lose a top 15 recruit in the country, it would be a devastating blow. For Duke, it's like, all right, maybe you're going to have to spend a little bit more to make sure Isaiah Evans stays around. Or, okay, maybe you could take the NIL money promised to him and give it to Nate Ament, who is the 4th overall recruit in the class and still has you in his top 5 and hasn't decided yet. Like, there are ways to pivot if you're Duke, which is, like I said, a credit to the program, a credit to John Shire, a credit to that staff. But it's still not ideal. Like, there was a reason why you recruited him heavily, why you got the commit, why you were excited about it, and losing that player at this point does sting. The reason why I brought up the fact that Dennis played a Duke highlight against Miami earlier is because Shelton Henderson, when he committed to Duke, his main contact at Duke, at least according to the recruiting services, was Jay Lucas, who at the time was an assistant for Duke. He has since taken the head coaching job at Miami. I think you don't have to make a large leap if he ends up at Miami to say, okay, he felt more comfortable with the coach than the program. Jay Lucas knew what he was looking for and was able to provide that at a greater level at Miami, in which case it's part of being an elite program. You know what else happened? Like, Florida lost 2 assistants to being head coaches elsewhere. They won the national championship. John Andrzejczyk's the head coach at Campbell, and there's another coach that left for another head coaching job. If you're a good program, people are going to want your people, right? If you're a good program, Miami's going to want your assistant as their head coach. And if you're a good program and that's a good assistant, he's going to be able to attract some of the players to go with him. If it happens, it's just the cost of doing business. But I am interested to see what Duke does with the roster spot. Andre Stojakovic, PJ Haggerty. These are guys that have hit the portal within the last 2 days that are scorers. Nate Ament, another guy from the same recruiting class. That's number 3. Let's hit number 2.
Just the two of us.
Gio Lopez, quarterback, South Alabama, committed to UNC last night. UNC. You know what? Bill Belichick might end up getting the old John Gruden reputation. You know what the reputation about John Gruden was? You know who John Gruden's favorite quarterback was?
Who?
The next one. Oh. He was always looking at the next quarterback. It was always who's the next guy? Who's the next guy? There's Bryce Baker. There's Max Jones. There was Ryan Brown. There's another quarterback that they got from the Virginia Beach area. I'm blanking on his name. Ryan Brown leaves. We don't know if Max Brown's healthy. They bring in this guy. UNC has been the quarterback shuffle going back to the beginning of last year. I know that was Mac Brown, but it was Max Johnson. He got hurt. Connor Harrell, Jacoby Criswell. Did they go back to Connor Harrell at one point?
For like a hot second at moments, then yeah.
Then it was Jacoby Criswell. Then this offseason, it was Ryan Brown came in. He's left. Then it was Bryce Baker committed. Who knows if he's ready as a freshman. Max Johnson, all of a sudden, he's on social media, like in pads throwing, non-contact jersey. But hey, just the fact that he's doing that is awesome for spirits. And now Gio Lopez comes in. And I expect him to kind of move to the front of the line as far as most likely to start. So, hey, keep firing darts until you get one.
Now they have 2 lefty quarterbacks, Max Johnson and Gio Lopez, both lefties.
I overthink things. If I had a lefty starter, I would want a lefty backup. Because the ball spins the wrong way. I'm not talk to really good punt returners. If a punter punts a spiral, they actually can see it and track it and will be 3, 4, 5 yards to the left and right because it comes down at an angle when it's a spiral, a punt. That happens at a much smaller scale on fade balls, deep balls, if you're a righty or a lefty, and it's less conscious, right? With a punter, and it's a big arcing, 40 yards up in the air punt, you can think, all right, the nose of the ball's in that direction. Let me shuffle my feet. Let me get over there. When you're doing it on a deep ball while you're running full speed with a defensive back on your hip, you're not thinking okay, the spiral, it's going that way. Your brain is just doing it. And you can actually get a yard off in either direction if you're not used to catching from a lefty, because it's we used to call it the Coriolis effect. I know that's not it. That's the spinning of the earth, but that's what we used to call it in college, was because we had one walk-on quarterback one year who was lefty, and every time he threw a deep ball, the receivers would be going darn Coriolis effect. I overran it. It was always that sort of deal. So if I had a lefty quarterback, I would want a lefty backup, just so it's consistent. You'll see it. By the way, now that I say it, you're going to notice this. If a team is facing a lefty punter in a big game, you will see them bring in a lefty punter for a tryout on Tuesdays. Right? We just want to see if we want to sign this punter to a practice squad. Let's bring him in for a tryout. And who do you think is going to be catching those punts during the tryout? Their starting punt returner, who's out there catching punts from a lefty just to get used to it because they're going to have it in the game. It happens. I'm telling you. That was a weird tangent. Gio Lopez, really good quarterback from South Alabama, can run, can throw it, efficient, makes good decisions. Obviously, it's going to be a step up in competition from South Alabama in the Sun Belt to the ACC and UNC, but a guy that doesn't make many mistakes. I think it was 19 touchdown passes, 5 interceptions, which is, I think, what Bill Belichick is looking for, right? You don't have to go out there and be 2019 Joe Burrow and throw for 60 touchdowns, but you better be 2019 Joe Burrow and throw very few interceptions. That's what he's looking for, and Gio Lopez brings some of that. What was that? Was that number 2? That was number 2. Let's get to number 1.
Go one! Drive rebound out in front. The score! It's Skylar Brindamore's first NHL goal. Driving the net in the building where his father got his 1,000th point. Skylar Brindamore gets his first, and the Canes are within a goal.
That was cool. We have 2 minutes of gold here with Adam Gold. We'll play it for you in a second, and he'll actually talk about the Skylar Brindamore goal. Do you know what I thought was even cooler about? So Skylar Brindamore is Rod Brindamore's son. He got the call up for the last 2 games from the AHL. People had opinions about it. Brindamore got his first goal, second game, so he can at least say he scored a goal in the NHL. At the intermission break during the broadcast, they talked to Brindamore, Skylar Brindamore. I have to differentiate my Brindamores. Talked to the younger Brindamore, and he said well, I had actually turned it over to give up the goal kind of just a little bit before, so it was good to get one back for the team. And, that's what I was thinking was the goal scored, and okay, now I've made up for it. Then after the game, they talked to the elder Brindamore. They talked to Rod Brindamore about what it was like to see his son get his first goal. Do you have that audio? Can you pull it up? And this is exactly what Rod said, and it was very similar.
Right now, it doesn't really sink in too much because it's a loss, and he did turn it over on the one, so that's cost us a goal. But it's been a long journey for him, and I'm happy that he can at least say that he tucked one in, so it's good.
So here's the deal. Obviously, Skylar Brindamore is trying to make it in the family business as a player, and he should chase that dream as long as he can. He's a good player in the AHL. Was he their 3rd leading scorer this year, which is plenty good enough to keep the dream alive. But if he doesn't want to keep that dream alive, I think he could go into the family business as a hockey coach, because sounded just like him. Sounded just like him. If he wanted to go into, well, it was a loss, and he could follow his dad's footsteps in a different way, in shoes rather than skates. Speaking of that game last night, Skylar Brendamore's first goal. Canes didn't win, but they did have some good things going on. Here's Adam Gold with 2 minutes of gold.
Hey, it's Adam Golden. I've got 2 minutes for two-minute penalties almost on top of each other, a glorious penalty kill, and the greatest 24 seconds in NHL history. And it's all brought to us by Parkway Sleep Health Centers for better sleep. I am not even bothered that the Hurricanes lost 7-5 to the Ottawa Senators last night, wrapping up the regular season. But last night provided us with two phenomenal things. The first happened first. 24 seconds was all Brent Burns needed to play in his 925th consecutive game, because that's all he played. 24 seconds. One shift, skated around. I think he passed the puck once, and then he sat on the bench holding a stick, playing with his beard. I don't know what he did, but he was there for the entire game just watching. Sort of like we were at home. It is amazing. Look, I was there for the games where Cal Ripken Jr. tied and passed Lou Gehrig on the baseball Ironman record, and he had to play the whole game, or he did play the whole game, but he had to play at least 4.5 innings, had to play half of it. Burns had to play 24 seconds. I wonder if he just stepped on the ice and then got off and played 1 second, if that would have counted. Unbelievable. But in the game, one of the best things we saw was from one of the most maligned players among the fan base, Dmitry Orlov. For me, the game's first star for Carolina, and he was instrumental in killing off almost 2 minutes of a 5-on-3.
It's Anderson. He looks for a shooting lane, deflected away. Shot put right back on by Stutzla. Anderson gets to the post. Canes looking to clear, and they will. Orlov, what work there? 35 seconds left in the 5-on-3.
Orlov had a chance to clear it off of the Brindamore one draw. That didn't happen, but he came up with 3 big-time plays. Heck of a shift.
I think Dmitry Orlov is trending in the right direction, fans. I know you don't want to hear that. I think Brent Burns is actually playing pretty well, too. And Carolina is going to rely on these two veterans in the postseason. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. But DO7 was A-OK last night. ParkwaySleep.com. Start your journey to a healthier night's sleep. Parkway Sleep Health Centers. Sound sleep. Sound health. Sound off for 24 seconds, and it counted. It's amazing.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Was there a time that it wouldn't count? Like if he was out there for literal puck drop, smack somebody, penalty, I'm out.
I mean, you're on the ice for 1 second, you played in the game.
That's what it is, 1 second?
Yeah. He can literally step on the ice for a face-off, puck gets dropped, and then he goes right to the bench and hops over the boards. He played in the game.
I feel like there should be a minutes thing. No. For a streak like that, there should be.
1 second.
I didn't like they've done in the NFL and stuff where a guy starts, hands it off the first play and runs off. And I don't know. You got to play. But it is still wildly impressive that he's played as many games in a row as he has. And it would be a real shame if he got nicked up or something, just making sure he got, I had played 3 minutes and I broke my hand. That would be a real bummer. Although he would probably just get a cast in the shape of holding a stick, and he'd be out there for the postseason. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We need to grab some numbers game contestants, don't we? We have tickets. Tickets to see Blink-182 at Coastal Credit Union Music Park on September 3rd. I've bored you enough with singing lyrics, so we'll let it go today. But if you want the Blink-182 tickets, unless Dennis, do you want to give us a lyric?
No.
Okay, that's fair. 919-860-5326 to call in if you want to win a pair of Blink-182 tickets. 919-860-5326. You need to play the numbers game, you need to win, and then you'll get to go to the Blink-182 concert. Stick around, numbers game next.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
A record in sports that would be a big deal if it was broken and we'd all be in on it is 100 points in a game in the NBA.
Oh, yeah, big time.
If I told you within the next 20 years in the NBA, somebody would score 101 points in one game.
I could see it. Couldn't you see a team just waving the white flag and another team taking advantage of that?
unsportsmanlike.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Hey, Greater Triangle area, Chick-fil-A invites you to enjoy a large waffle potato fries on us in the Chick-fil-A app. Join us this week, April 14th through 18th, to get your reward for a large waffle potato fries by downloading or signing into your Chick-fil-A app with location services on in the Greater Triangle market area. Redeem when you order through the Chick-fil-A app at a participating Greater Triangle area Chick-fil-A restaurant from 10:30 a.m. to close. Offer subject to availability. Rewards are single-use only. Limit 1 per person per Chick-fil-A account. See further details in the app.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, and it's no surprise. Same-game parlay from Bet365 just keeps getting better.
Well, it's even easier to make a bet. Choose from the most popular markets like hits, run line, totals, and home runs. So many to choose from.
Download the app, start building your bet, and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in North Carolina. T&Cs apply.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Nia.
Hi, Nia. It's Jennifer. Did you know that Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Yeah, I work here.
Okay. I was just double checking. Get it?
Because Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Oh, you get me, Nia.
You could say that I double get you.
I guess we've taken it too far.
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/credit.
Hey, it's Paul Ihander from 99.9 The Fan for Clayton Homes. If you're thinking about upgrading your home this year, you need to check out the Go Big and Go Home sales event right now at Clayton Homes. They've got beautiful, modern homes starting under $150,000. Seriously, under $150K. It's not just affordable. They're energy efficient, built to last, and packed with smart features, saving you money year-round. Very important these days. If you already own a manufactured or mobile home, you might be able to trade it in as your down payment. Yep, it could be that easy. Visit the local Clayton Homes or Oakwood Homes near you or browse their limited time deals at gobigandgohomesale.com. And don't wait. This sale ends April 30th. Sales price is for the home only and does not include required taxes, delivery, and installation. Install price will be higher. Contact your local retailer for complete sales price information and for a list of eligible homes. Discount may not be available on all models. May not be combined with any other offer or promotion. Sales event ends 4/30/2025.
See if you're a winner every night. Watch live lottery drawings on WRAL-TV's 11 o'clock news. That's right, Carolina Pick 3, Carolina Pick 4, and Carolina Cash 5 numbers every night on WRAL-TV's 11 o'clock news. See if you're a winner before you go off to bed. Get your lottery numbers live every night.
North Carolina Education Lottery.
Only on WRAL-TV's 11 o'clock news.
Stitches, itches, aches, and pains. Strep and sinus, minor sprains. Pink eye, earaches, fever, flu. Virtual visits, physicals too. At WakeMed MyCare 365, we offer both walk-in primary care and urgent care. So find the MyCare location nearest you at wakemed.org. Walk right in, and for just about anything from asthma, rashes, and examinations to x-rays, labs, and vaccinations, make MyCare your care.
Hello, Scott Forbes, head baseball coach, University of North Carolina. When it comes to choosing a dealership, I stick with Wilkinson, Chevrolet, Cadillac, Buick, GMC. Growing up in Sanford, I've been fortunate to be lifelong friends with Will Wilkinson. My family and I have been buying and having our vehicles serviced at Wilkinson for many, many years. Great service, competitive prices, and most importantly, a place you can trust. Go where I go. Go see my longtime friend Will Wilkinson at Wilkinson, Chevrolet, Cadillac, Buick, GMC.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time to play the numbers game. As we talked about before the break, the prize is a pair of tickets to Coastal Credit Union Music Park on September 3rd to see Blink-182. The contestants for today are Frank in Smithfield and Steven in Raleigh. As always, we ask our contestants a question. Dennis picks his favorite answer. That person gets to go first. Dennis, are you ready?
I am ready.
Frank in Smithfield, are you ready?
I am.
All right, the question is, what are you most looking forward to about this weekend, but because we're a sports show, keep it sports related.
NBA playoffs.
All right, NBA playoffs. Do you consider tonight's play-in games the playoffs?
I do. I'm a Nets fan.
All right, so
it's going to be relevant forever.
Take whatever you can get. All right. Frank in Smithfield, appreciate it. Stephen in Raleigh, you are up next. Stephen in Raleigh, are you there?
I am.
All right, the question is the same to you. What are you looking forward to most about the upcoming week? But because we're a weekend, but because we're a sports show, keep it sports related.
Playoff hockey in general, all around.
All right, Dennis, I have a feeling I know where you're going to go, but go ahead and make your prediction or make your selection.
Seeing as that we have an NHL team here in this, that's playing in the playoffs, I'm going to go with playoff hockey on this one. The correct answer is obviously Game 1 on Sunday.
Yeah,
is the correct answer, followed by WrestleMania.
Steven, correct me if I'm wrong here, but this is the vibe I got. Are you a fan of a team other than the Canes, but you kind of hid that and were vague enough to get the pick from Dennis while not having to say who you're a fan of?
Definitely a diehard Canes fan,
okay.
But diehard hockey fan in general as well,
okay.
So I'll be watching most of them.
All right, that makes me feel better because I did get a little vibes of like you might be a Devils fan, but you didn't want to say it, so you're just like, playoff hockey in general, not
hockey guy.
All right, I like it.
Tip for the future: lead with that.
Yeah,
Canes Game 1. Let's go.
That's funny. Steve, you do get to go first, and Frank, just bide your time. You'll have your chance in a second. Steve, you already picked a category. The categories are NFL players born in late April, NFL players who have 3 letters in their first name, so just 3-letter first names, NBA players that are in the top 100 amongst active players in most games played without an NBA playoff game as one of those games, and NHL Hurricanes only.
Let's go to NFL 3-letter names.
All right. The way this works, I'll give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. 1 pass if you need it. Any questions before we get started?
Nope.
All right. Your time will start when you hear the horn. Cam Newton, Carolina Panthers.
1.
Correct. Sam Darnold, Minnesota Vikings.
14.
Correct. Pat Freiermuth, Pittsburgh Steelers.
86.
Incorrect. Joe Horn, New Orleans Saints.
2.
Joe Horn, New Orleans Saints.
5.
Incorrect. Pat Freiermuth, Pittsburgh Steelers.
81.
Incorrect. Joe Horn, New Orleans Saints.
5.
You like 5 for Joe Horn, didn't you? Joe Horn, I don't know how old you are, but you might remember he was the one that scored a touchdown and then took a cell phone out of the goalpost and acted like he was calling somebody during the. It was a big prop time for celebrations. Terrell Owens was getting Sharpies and stuff. Cam Newton, you got it. Sam Darnold, you got it with 14. Freiermuth, we were looking for 88. And Joe Horn, we were looking for 87, but you did get 2. So we'll see if that's enough to win the prize. Go ahead and stay on the line.
All right.
That brings us to
Joe Horn, J.C. Horn's dad.
Ah, true. Very true. What was it? The Falcons owner that tracked J.C. Horn down before the game to tell him your dad was a good player. It's like, that's okay. All right. Appreciate it. Frank in Smithfield, you're up next. Frank, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
All right. The categories remaining for you to choose from are NFL players born in late April, NBA players that are amongst the top 100 active players in most games played without a playoff appearance, or NHL Hurricanes only.
Late April NFL players.
Late April NFL players. Gotcha. I'll give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. 1 pass if you need it. You need at least 3 for the win. Any questions before we get started?
No, sir.
All right. Your time will start when you hear the horn. Tony Romo, Dallas Cowboys.
9.
Correct. Marshawn Lynch, Seattle Seahawks.
24.
Correct. D'Angelo Williams, Carolina Panthers.
28.
Incorrect. Keenan Allen, Chicago Bears.
18.
Incorrect. D'Angelo Williams, Carolina Panthers.
21.
Incorrect. Keenan Allen, Chicago Bears.
28.
Incorrect. D'Angelo Williams, Carolina Panthers.
29.
Incorrect. Keenan Allen, Chicago Bears.
84.
Oh, I thought you were on the way. Unfortunately, a tie goes to whoever goes first, so you are not the winner. But hopefully you had fun.
Thank you.
All right, appreciate it. For those of you playing at home, he got Romo with 9. He got Marshawn Lynch beast mode with 24. D'Angelo Williams 34 is what we were looking for D'Angelo. D'Angelo Williams?
I say Jonathan Stewart wore 28. So he said 28 initially for D'Angelo Williams.
I could see that being in your mind's eye getting confused. D'Angelo Williams, solid version or solid competitor on what's the Amazing Race.
Oh, okay.
He was on the Amazing Race with two. Ready for this? You want to know a small world? He competed against two guys I went to middle school and early high school with that were professional volleyball players, and they smoked him. Take that. But either way, Keenan Allen, we were looking for number 13. That's what we were looking for, 13. Who's the winner? Steven in Raleigh is the winner. Steven, congratulations. Way to go.
Awesome. Thank you.
Blink 182, Coastal Credit Union Music Park, September 3rd. You've got yourself some tickets.
Awesome. I appreciate it.
All right, go ahead and stay on the line. Dennis has some info he needs to grab from you. But congratulations one more time. Now, before we move on, Tim Donnelly here for Bailey's Fine Jewelry. I was on their their website today, and we've been talking about this. It's BaileyBox.com, by the way, is the website. We've been talking about this watch bracket. We put 16 watches in a bracket. We picked winners. We got all the way to the end. It was every matchup were just two icons as far as wristwear, as far as timepieces, as far as classic, sometimes literal historic innovations on your wrist. But I was on their website clicking around, just checking it out because I'm a watch nerd, and I realized we should be clamoring, how people for the college basketball tournament are clamoring for expansion. We should have been clamoring for expansion of the watch bracket. We did 16 watches. We could have done 128 based on the selection at Bailey's Fine Jewelry. Could have had a bunch more Cartiers. Could have had a bunch more Hamiltons. In addition to all of the classic Rolexes and Omegas and Blancpains that were in there. I'd even throw in, mix in for every level of budget some Timex which are there, some G-Shocks which are there. No matter what you're interested in when it comes to the watch world, the highest end of luxury, right? I saw Rory after he won the Masters was wearing a unbelievable Omega Speedmaster, right? If you want to go to the top of the top of the top, Bailey's Fine Jewelry can help you out. But if you just want something you can everyday wear, maybe do work with it, they have that as well. But the point is, no matter what watch need you have or want, you have Bailey's Fine Jewelry, Village District location in Raleigh can help you out. They are experts in their field. Talk to Mickey, their timepiece manager. Let him know you heard about it from me. He'll take care of you. He always will, but I want him to know I sent you. But talk to Mickey. He'll get you exactly what you're looking for. And if you have a couple different options, he'll help you try them all on, right? He'll let you feel the power of having one of these statements on your wrist. It's all happening. Bailey's Fine Jewelry, BaileyBox.com if you're perusing online. I'd check out their Village District location where the Fox and Bailey Watch Shop and the Omega Boutique are located. It's pretty darn cool. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan will be back. We have to make our picks for the weekend, so Dennis will line them up. We'll make our picks coming up next.
Fun awaits at John Heister Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington, picking out your new Jeep from all the amazing deals. How about a 2024 Jeep Wrangler for 20% off? That's up to $15,000 off. Prefer a new 2024 Jeep Grand Wagoneer? Have fun choosing because they are all now $25,000 off at John Heister. See dealer for full details. Go anywhere, do anything in your new Jeep. For best selection, get off your keister and get to John Heister Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington today.
Everyone deserves a fast and reliable connection. One that helps better their everyday through the things they value most. Friends and family, education and career. A connection that opens pathways to opportunity and builds roads to a better future. At Spectrum, we're committed to delivering just that every single day. Because with the right connection, anything is possible. That's Life Unlimited. That's Spectrum.
It's bow time. Yep, it's eating time again. Now you could unload groceries, chop, dice, mince, preheat, heat, slap around the smoke detector, and then celebrate with a big old pile of dishes. But if you're tired of cooking, or tired of sorta cooking, it's time to feed the whole family with Bojangles Fried Chicken Family Meal. With Bojangles' famous chicken, fixins, biscuits, and tea, you can forget the cookbook and spend some well-earned quality time with a delicious dinner from Bojangles. It's Bo time.
There's no time like Bo time. Time to stop whatever you're doing for some of that bodacious Bojangles flavor. Satisfy your craving for flavor and your passion for boneless chicken with Bojangles 4-piece Supremes Dinner. 4 perfectly seasoned Cajun fried whole breast tenderloin fillets. Choice of fixin', a made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit, and Bojangles legendary iced tea. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's Bo time.
Heineken Silver is a world-class light beer with only 2.9 carbs and 95 calories. It keeps things light and refreshing all year round. It's like rain showing up to cool things off and then politely leaving. It's like cracking open a window and nailing the cross breeze. So, as we move into the warmer weather, grab a crisp and refreshing Heineken Silver and taste the difference. Only 2.9 carbs and 95 calories. Available at your local Heineken retailer or for delivery at Heineken.com/silver now. Must be 21 plus to purchase. Enjoy Heineken responsibly.
Your home shelters your dreams and protects your memories. At Baker Home Exteriors, we understand this deeply. It's why we've dedicated ourselves to caring for homes like yours. As part of the Baker Roofing family, we bring a century of expertise to every project, from roofing and siding to windows and decks. We don't just upgrade homes, we help protect the life you've built within them. Because your home is where our heart is. Visit BakerHomeExteriors.com and start your home's next chapter.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it. But not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. HIMS.com/JOY.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-838-6161. That's 800-838-6161. 800-838-6161.
At Uline, they know going the extra mile takes hard work. For companies pushing to go further, Uline will go the distance with you. 24/7, they answer the phone to get you the shipping and industrial supplies you need. Business can move fast. Unexpected large orders, adverse weather, new safety guidelines, and changing economic trends. Uline works hard keeping 41,000 items ready to ship, minimizing detours on your way to the extra mile. Visit uline.com.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I know we just gave away some tickets to see Blink-182, but if you missed out on the Blink-182 tickets, we have more tickets you could potentially win. Chris Brown is bringing Breezy Bowl 20 to Carter Finley Stadium on October 14th with Janae Aiko and Bryson. Text keyword Brown, BRWN, to 919-860-5326. That's Brown as a keyword, BROWN, to 919-860-5326 to enter for a chance to win a pair of tickets to the show. Sign up now for artist pre-sale access at chrisbrownworld.com as well. Artist pre-sale access is available. You can sign up now at chrisbrownworld.com. We do have to make our picks, but Dennis, you have some info about Dan Morgan, GM of the Panthers?
I do. Dan Morgan, along with 3 other Miami Hurricanes football players, are being inducted into their 2025 class for their Ring of Honor. So it's going to be Dan Morgan along with quarterback Ken Dorsey, wide receiver Andre Johnson, and offensive lineman Bryant McKinney along with linebacker Dan Morgan, all selected to the football program's Ring of Honor class of 2025.
That is one of the more wild groups of Ring of Honor. How in the heck have those 4 not already been put into the Ring of Honor?
It's quite the crew.
Ken Dorsey was the quarterback of maybe the greatest college football team of all time.
Like the 02,
Bryant McKinney is one of the most accomplished offensive linemen in college football history. Andre Johnson is Andre Johnson. You know what Andre Johnson is.
NFL Hall of Famer.
Dan Morgan, if I'm not mistaken, was the first to win the Butkus Award, the Nagurski Award, and whatever the other, Bednarik, the Bednarik Award in the same season. So these are literally not just 4 of the best Miami Hurricanes of all time, 4 of the best college football players of all time that all graduated at different times, all finished their college or NFL playing careers at different times. How are they going in at the same time? Their first ballot Ring of Honor people, all of them, whenever they're eligible, they go in. That makes no sense to me.
So he was first team All-American in 2000, 3-time All-Big East selection. Just think about that. But he was the first player in college football to sweep the Bednarik, Butkus, and Lombardi Awards.
So
yes, first player in college football history to sweep all 3 of those awards. Now, Dan Morgan was elected or selected or inducted, I should say, into the University of Miami Sports Hall of Fame back in 2011. But to actually go into the Ring of Honor, the membership is 31 Hurricanes for the Ring of Honor. 28 players, 3 coaches.
That must be the hardest Ring of Honor in the world to get into if it took Dan Morgan this long.
I mean, they're not inducting every single year. The last time they actually inducted people was 2023. That was Dennis Erickson, Chuck Foreman, and Jimmy Johnson. A lot of coaches going in.
Oh, yeah, that's another. Jimmy Johnson. Never mind. Do better, Miami. Don't make them wait.
But this is only the 3rd time this decade they're actually inducting people into the Ring of Honor.
Dan Morgan graduated in 2000.
Yeah, I know.
They've had time. Even if they only do it once every 5 years, the dude should have been in 15 years ago. At least. Oh, man. Anyway, The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We have a little bit of time here, so let's go ahead and make some picks. Dennis, what do you got?
All right, real quick. We have a couple NBA play-in games tonight.
You're darn right we do. I know this now.
Heat versus the Hawks. Heat on the road in Atlanta. Miami actually 1.5-point favorites in this one.
Yeah, give me Miami. I picked against them accidentally earlier in the week. They made me pay for it. So, let's go Bam Adebayo. Miami wins by 5.
And North Carolina guy, Bam Adebayo.
Yes, he is. Went to Kentucky, though.
That's very true. All right, the other one, Mavs Grizzlies. Memphis at home in this one. That's a 9:30 tip-off. Memphis 5.5-point favorites in this game.
I have Memphis. I have a big game from Ja Morant. He will get at least 30 or more points plus rebounds plus assists.
So you're all in on the Grizzlies on this one?
Yeah, I've been all in on the Grizzlies for at least 2 days because I thought this game was going to be played yesterday.
Very good point. Very good point.
We have a long-standing relationship of me really getting excited for a game that I thought was being played last night.
All right, couple NHL games taking place tomorrow. The St. Louis Blues at the Winnipeg Jets. The Winnipeg Jets had the best record in the regular season in the entire NHL. Top seed in the West. They're at home 6 o'clock tomorrow night against St. Louis.
Yeah, give me Winnipeg. St. Louis, thanks for showing up, man. They're a good season. Way to fight and scrap your way into the postseason. I think Winnipeg is pretty darn good. So yeah, give me Winnipeg. And I mean, what do I have to pick, this game, or am I picking the series?
Just this game.
This game, 4-2.
4-2 Winnipeg. All right. Next one tomorrow night. This is the heater.
Feel free to make picks if you want to.
I think Winnipeg takes game 1. I'll take game 1. Yeah, 4-2 sounds right. Colorado at Dallas tomorrow night. That's an 8:30 game. That's going to be a doozy.
It will be. And this is one, throw the records out.
No Jason Robertson, it looks like. He got hurt actually a couple days ago.
Okay.
In their last game. Actually, maybe yesterday for Dallas. No, 2 days ago for Dallas. Got hurt for the Stars. So they're going to be without one of their top guys.
You know what? Even if Robertson was playing, what we're not accounting for in our conversation yet is Dallas has Mikko Rantanen. So give me Colorado.
Yeah.
5-2.
5-2. Colorado.
Shout out to Natchez and Drury.
Colorado hasn't played in like a week.
Give me Drury 2 goals.
All All right, real quick. WrestleMania main event tomorrow night, night 1 of WrestleMania. Triple threat match. We have ourselves Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, CM Punk. Triple threat match. Who do you have?
Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, CM Punk?
Yeah.
Roman Reigns.
Taking Reigns? I think Seth Rollins takes this one.
Why?
He needs a win, and I think it's to the point where I think there's going to be some shenanigans. I think Seth Rollins wins this match.
Oh, I don't like shenanigans.
Oh, there's going to be shenanigans.
Who's like the upstanding one? Who's not going to be involved in the shenanigans?
I think they'll all be involved in shenanigans in some way. Actually, Roman probably won't be.
Oh, then absolutely.
That's
Roman
why
Reigns.
he won't win.
That's why I chose him, because he's a man with morals.
Is he?
Is he? I don't know.
All right, Sunday's main event. Night 2 of WrestleMania. Cody Rhodes, the WWE champion, taking on John Cena.
I'm taking John Cena.
Yeah, I'm going John Cena on this.
Taking John Cena. You said he's in cahoots with The Rock.
Yeah.
I'm not picking against John Cena and The Rock. They're the two I know. They're the two that I could recognize. I'm not kidding when I say I don't really know what's going on, but I'm happy for everybody that's going to be having a good time. That's on Sunday?
That is.
Sunday. So Easter
That's
Sunday WrestleMania.
Sunday night after 3 o'clock.
There's going to be some people with some full Sundays.
Oh,
like
yes.
Morning church, egg hunt, Canes game, WrestleMania, a well-earned rest.
Let's get right into it. The true main event this weekend, Sunday at the Lenovo Center, 3 o'clock, game 1, Canes, Devils. Who do you have?
I have the Canes. I think it's going to be a fight. I think it's going to be a scrap. Give me 3-2. It may get up to 3-1. Tightens up down the stretch. Everybody's back muscles lock up, and they hold on for a 3-2 win.
I'm going to go 4-2. I think they get that late empty netter. Because I think usually playoffs are going to pull the goalie with about 2.5, 3 minutes left as opposed to just, minute 30. So give me the Canes in this one. Wins it 4-2. First goal scorer will be Sebastian Aho. First period.
First goal scorer for me, Seth Jarvis.
Fair.
On a feed from Aho.
Okay, that's fair.
On a feed
Respect.
from Aho. Well, something very pretty. The beautiful game. That's what I'm looking for. Overdrive, we're actually going to start looking at that Canes-Devils series. That's what we'll start with on Overdrive. By the way, extra long Stormwatch on Sunday. 2 o'clock start for Stormwatch with Adam Gold. It'll be a full hour to get you ready. I'm really looking forward to Monday's show, to reacting and everything that goes along with it. It's also NFL Draft Week. We'll see you on Monday. Until then, have a great weekend, everybody.
Do you ever go to the Carolina Hurricanes games and find yourself thinking, what do the players eat before the game? What are their pregame rituals? What kind of music gets them pumped up ahead of the game? How sacred is the game day nap? What's the postgame mood on the team plane? Check out my new podcast, Iced Tea, with me, Megan LaMontagne. I get to talk to people who spill the tea on the Carolina Hurricanes. Listen to Iced Tea in any podcast app or watch the show on the Fan YouTube channel.
Hello, I'm John Heister for John Heister Chevrolet in Fuquay Arena. And people are asking us, how are you selling so many cars all of a sudden? Well, did you know that the Beltline has opened up the outer loop? We're only 28 minutes from Knightdale. We're only 19 minutes from Clayton and 15 minutes from Apex.